Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the January meeting of the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board. Before we start, I'd like our board members to identify themselves with who they are and what district they represent. I'm Bob Finley, Subdistrict 2.
Hi, I'm Lou Ridishek. I am in Subdistrict 2, and I'm the Vice Chair of the board.
Hi, I'm Melissa Feelick. I'm with District 3 and I'm the Secretary of the Board.
I am Catherine Hensky. I'm in District 3 and I'm the Vice Chair of District 3. I'm Lisa Cabanero, Subdistrict number 1 and Board Treasurer.
Good evening, I'm Jeff Mers. I'm Vice Chair for Subdistrict 1.
Aloha, my name is Rolf Nordahl, and I'm in Subdistrict 3.
Hi, I'm Jillian Anderson, Subdistrict 2 Vice Chair and Public Safety Committee Chair.
Shannon Smith, Subdistrict 3.
Aloha, Ren Amu, Subdistrict 2.
Aloha, Tim Hike, Subdistrict 3, and member of Public Safety Committee.
Hi, my name is Corey DeRazzi. I'm part of Subdistrict 1.
I see Daniel Jacob on WebEx tonight. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, Chair. Thank you. I'm here with my father, Ken. We're both members of the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board. I'm from District 2. He's from District 1. I'm also on the Public Safety Committee, and we apologize for not being in attendance in person tonight, but we wish everybody a Happy New Year and look forward to this productive coming year.
Thank you, Daniel. Ralph is our little cameraman, I believe. Did I get the name wrong? Jordan told me Ralph. And Anson is our neighborhood assistant from the city. He is the expert on all things we do for these meetings. The board voted to give anyone from the community and welcome community members up to 2 minutes to comment on any subject that we have a time, and we have a timer to help you with the 2 minutes. So welcome to the board meeting. Is somebody here from HFD? Hello, fire. Yeah, there he is. You've got so many police officers tonight. You got kind of in the middle over there. We start off with the Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Captain Shroma from the Waikīkī Fire Station. So I will give you our statistics for the previous month. For December 2025, we had 1 structure fire, 1 nuisance fire, 1 cooking fire, and 14 activated alarms with no fire present. We had 229 medical incidents, 8 motor vehicle collision or crash. We had 2 ocean rescues. Let's see. The safety tip for the end of the year or going into the new year is electrical safety in the household. So some of the things you guys can do in the community to protect yourselves or make yourselves more aware of fire safety is plugging in 1 unit or 1 appliance into the wall per receptacle. Major appliances such as refrigerators, dryers, stoves should be plugged directly into the wall and not use a extension cord or power strip between the wall and the appliance. And check your appliance electrical cords regularly. They may fray, break, or crack, which can cause a potential for fire hazards. Do you have any questions?
Board member Smers.
Yeah, I've heard this before, and maybe just I didn't need an explanation. Why are we not supposed to use an extension cord? I believe you, but I'm just, what is the rationale?
So I'm not a certified electrician, but it has to do with the current that goes between your main line. So by connecting the wiring, the gauges between the electrical cords can cause the shortage and fire. So it's not so much, so it's the current that goes from the home to the appliance. If you have multiple extension cords in between those two, that's the point where we can have a mishap and that can cause the fire. So those are the locations that, so not the, so the cords just either burning out each other or overheating and then causing that connection between extension cords.
Other questions from board members? Questions from the community? Anything from Honolulu Fire Department? Well, Happy New Year and welcome.
All right, thank you. And if you guys have any questions, you can always email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. That's the neighborhood questionnaire that you can forward any questions to. All right, have a good evening.
Next, I'd like to recognize Major Okamura from Honolulu Police Department, who has just taken over Waikīkī. And I'll give you a chance to say hello before we start off.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Paul Okamoto. I'm the new major for the Waikīkī district. It's been 2 weeks now, I think I've been on the job. I'm very excited for this opportunity to work in Waikīkī. This is my first time working in Waikīkī, so I'm still getting to know the neighborhood and some of the serious problems in Waikīkī. But I really want to take a proactive approach. I think what's missing is increased interactions with the police officers. We're going to have more of our fourth watch officers on bicycles. That's going to be part of my plan. I really want to put officers on UTVs and ATVs. So you'll probably see them out there on Kalakaua and Kuhio, interacting with the public. And so hopefully that'll have a deterrent effect to some of the vagrancy and some of the petty crimes that we're seeing. I know a lot of the crimes are committed by certain individuals. And so that's going to be sort of one of the first things that I want to try and address. My previous assignment to this was the legislative liaison for the department. So I had a lot of interactions with the city council and other legislators. Previous to that, I was a major of District 1, which is Chinatown all the way to Punahou. And so I really want to take what I learned from addressing some of the homeless issues and some of the vacancy issues in Chinatown and employ some of those techniques and strategies here. So I'm looking forward to working with all of you. I'm going to try to stay as long as I can. So if you want to talk story with me afterwards in the back, please don't hesitate to come in and introduce yourself to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you and welcome. Lieutenant?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Acting Lieutenant Jared Spiker from District 6 Day Watch Patrol. I will go over the December statistics. So for December 2025, we had 6 robbery cases compared to 4 the previous month. We had 16 burglary cases compared to 12 the previous month. We had 85 theft cases compared to 102 the previous month. We had 7 car break-ins in December. We also had 7 car break-ins the previous month. There was 37 assault type cases compared to 41 the previous month for November. 3 sex assault cases in December compared to 0 the previous month. We didn't give any citations for skateboarding on the sidewalk, but we did give 1 the previous month in November. For speeding, the traffic enforcement, we issued 24 speeding citations in December compared to 32 the previous month. We issued 1,584 parking citations in December compared to 1,563 the previous month. For loud muffler and prohibited noise, we issued 3 citations in December compared to 6 the previous month. For park closures in December, we had 69 citations and 16 arrests. And the previous month, we had 86 citations and 25 arrests. Total calls for service for December was 4,357, and the previous month was 4,825. And for December, we also made 25 DUI arrests. So those were our stats for December. The major said a few words, and I can field any questions anybody has.
Members of the community, questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Members of the board, Catherine?
Hi, I'm Catherine Hensky. Nice to have you here. We live across, my district is across from the Honolulu Zoo. And in previous months, there'd been a real issue with partiers and noisemakers in the parking lot. And with the help of your staff, the zoo staff, that was eliminated. Signs were posted. However, close to New Year's Eve, and since then, parties have started again. There's a particular gentleman who likes to rev his engine so loud that it backfires and it sounds like firecrackers going off, which can't be good for the zoo animals, and it's not great for us. I'd like to ask you how you're going to address that issue.
Thank you for that. So for that issue, what we will do is we will keep up the enforcement of the zoo parking lot. We can have a dedicated time period of time to address officers to be there. I'm not sure exactly why maybe the noise and the parties ramped up again. I can tell you that it will be addressed and brought up with our officers to be there more often and have a blue light presence.
I see Jacob online, and you want to talk? Wait just a minute until we get Jacob done. Jacob, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Jacob Winsek, resident of Subdistrict 2. Appreciate the time the Waikīkī Police Substation has to give to us today. I'd like to convey concern that over the past couple months, there seems to be an increasing incidence of motorized scooters, motorized bikes, just driving recklessly on sidewalks on the Alawai Canal Promenade. So if we could get some more HPD proactive enforcement on that, that'd be really great. I just want to give you guys a shout out. Past couple of months, there have been, some traffic issues, and there have been some, obviously the New Year's celebration. I think you guys did a really great job managing those traffic issues. I definitely see the officers out there more directing traffic, which has been a concern for us. And really good job with the fireworks enforcement this year. I know we got a long ways to go, but wanted to give you guys a shout out for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Yes, ma'am. Please use the microphone.
Hi, I just have a question. Do you enforce the patrol on the beach?
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Do you enforce the beach patrol?
I don't personally, but we do have a ATV detail.
Okay. Okay, the question I have is on New Year's Eve, we were in front of the outrigger Waikīkī. The fireworks was over at 10 after 12. At 21 minutes after 12, they come zooming down the beach on their ATVs and said, everybody get off the beach. I mean, I've done this every year and I've never had a situation where we've been kicked off the beach 21 minutes after the new year. Is that something new, or was there a problem?
It's been a problem in the past. I think this year our stance was to take a kind of a strict enforcement. We didn't want anybody lingering on the beach, maybe drinking, maybe that could lead to fights or some sort of altercation. So once the fireworks were done, I believe it was our decision together to kind of clear the beach as quickly as possible to eliminate any sort of crimes being committed or future activities.
I just, a lot of tourists, we live here, so but the tourists were like, what's going on? I mean, it's, we just have the fireworks and now we're getting kicked off the beach, and there was a lot of dissension going on and people were really unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
I was just, wondering if they expected something bad to happen or what was going on.
Yeah, no, nothing we're expecting to happen, just more of a preventative approach.
Okay, thank you.
Any other board members with questions? Okay.
Hi. So I represent Subdistrict 3, and I'm the vice president of the board at the Cabana at Waikīkī. We have some friends that have been camping out front, and we've been getting a lot of complaints from the guests and residents that live there. So for some reason, I've been voluntold to take care of our friends that keep camping out right in front of the Cabana on Cartwright. And so I've called 6 times to the police department to see if they could trespass them. And every night that I call, they say like, oh, thank you so much, they're leaving, we got rid of them, call us if they come back. But I'm not going to call if they come back because I just walk the dogs and then I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But then the building people call and then they say, oh, you can't do anything because you're not the property manager or you're not on the board. So how many times do we have to call, or do I have to call, or do I have to go down there at night, or what can I do so that those 3 people will stop camping out in front of that space on Cartwright? What's my next step?
Are they on the private property section, or I'm a little bit confused as to where exactly they are?
They're on both. So they're on our property and then sometimes they're on the Chun Brothers Road on Cartwright. So then I called the Chun Brothers and I told them the situation and they said, we are not coming down there at 10 o'clock at night to call the police and get them off of the property. That is all you have at it. And so then they wrote me a letter saying that I'm authorized to get them off and then I still can't get them out of there or trespassed. So what do I need to do to have them officially trespassed? Because I've been down there 6 or 7 times and called and they just scoot them away and then they come right back.
So I can speak to the officers about that. There's a trespass warning form that we can give. If they're on private property, we can issue a trespass warning. If you're present, whoever's going to meet with us, if there's a building manager or any sort of security guard, we can issue a trespass for 1 year if they're on the private property.
Yeah, I've asked them every time to do that. And then one of them that was a lady the other night, she told me to go home and get the form and print it out and then call back. Is there a form that I need to go print out and call back that I need to come with? Because I've gotten that twice, like you need the form. What form?
There is a trespass form, but we should have it on them. I will speak to the officers and make sure that's addressed. So next time it happens, just feel free to call and we'll speak to the officers on both watches to make sure it gets handled properly.
Okay. And then if they can just trespass them and then they can't come back, correct?
They're on private property and there's a valid
Yes.
trespass warning for 1 year, correct?
Okay. And then is there somebody that in particular that you call or you just keep calling the same officers that keep coming out?
Just the same officers. They'll be spoken to about how to handle the situation.
Okay. They will know who I am because they've seen me half a dozen times out there
Okay.
in pajamas.
Any other questions for the Honolulu Police Department? Okay, John, followed by Tim. Please use a microphone over there. I hope there's one.
Hi, everybody. John Dutzman. Just wanted to start off the year with some inspiration here. When I started this involvement 6 years ago, we were on the opponent's 10-yard line, on our own 10-yard line. And now we're at the 20-yard line, the opponent's 20-yard line. And now with Major Okamoto, I think we're going to score a touchdown this year. Every major has helped us throughout the way. We're getting real close. But thanks to the board and the community and working with police, things are 80% better. The stats show that the homeless situation in the middle of Waikīkī is 78% better. And that's because all of you guys. And I want to talk about a lot of naysayers. They said you couldn't get rid of those news racks where people were sleeping in them. We did, and they're not sleeping in them. They said you couldn't change the beach hours. We did, and now nobody's sleeping on the beach. They said you can't rip up the picnic tables. We did, and now nobody's hanging out there. We are doing it all together as a team. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Tim? Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Don't really have much, but one concern I've noticed since I come down to Waikīkī every day, and I usually go up Montserrat past the Shell, and somebody's going to get killed because our bus system, they stage, today there were 3 buses. 2 of them were blocking the crosswalk. So if somebody's coming from the Shell side and walking across, there's this big bus, 3 of them, at each crosswalk across Montserrat. They're blocking it. And I understand because the drivers park their bus there and use the restroom. But if you're driving down Montserrat, and this was a problem at Kapahulu too, they park right up to the crosswalk. You need to cite these drivers. They have no concern for safety, because if people are coming out, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of people don't even look when they cross streets anymore. They got their phone and they just walk across. They don't care about traffic. Somebody's going to get nailed there. Tonight, when I picked my son up and we went up Montserrat, I had to go down, I was going 15 miles an hour because I was scared that somebody with a family with a stroller or whatever is going to walk out from in front of that bus and drivers aren't going to be able to react. And somebody's going to get nailed just because I don't understand why the bus drivers can't see this. They're creating a huge traffic hazard, and it's been like that for 6 weeks or so now. They used to park more down near the park area, away from the marked crosswalks. So if you guys are driving by there and you see the buses, give them a heads up. It was on the agenda in November. Pedestrian safety at line staging. And that was Department of Transportation Services.
Tim,
We're
I think
into-
I think that's an easy fix. We'll just have a conversation with OTS.
Yeah, that's all you got to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah.
I stopped today and told one driver and he kind of gave me a,
I think it's just,
F you.
we'll talk to the supervisor and he'll talk to all those people and we'll fix it.
Thanks, buddy.
And in February, the Department of Transportation will be here to discuss these issues. Any other concerns? Yes, in the back. Please use the microphone.
Thank you. My name's Amy Ammon. I live at 2450 Koa Avenue. Every single day, the surf shop, Star Beach Boys, is putting a surf rack in the no parking zone on the street. It's been going on for months. And it's 12 hours a day. Do I need to do anything more?
No, ma'am, I'll make sure that's addressed. I will send officers there firstly to make sure that the area is clear of any surfboards.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other concerns for Honolulu Police Department? Seeing none. Lieutenant, welcome. Major, welcome. Thank you for being with us tonight. I see on the WebEx that Board Member Sirota is here. Board Member Sarah Worth is here on WebEx tonight. They both represent Sub-District 1. Next, it's with great amount of pleasure, I introduce the Managing Director of the City and County of Honolulu. He has a presentation for us tonight.
Thank you, Board Chair Mike Formby, and I appreciate the invitation to speak tonight. I put 2 boards up that I wanted the board to be able to see, and if I need to move them, if they have glares on them or they're not in a way that you can actually understand the 2 properties that I'm talking about, I'm happy to move them. We gave a handout, and the last 3 pages in the handout, and there's a lot of material here, and I'm not going to read it, and I'm not going to go through it because you can read it later, and it's all pretty straightforward, but there are 3 pages in the back. And if you go to the 3 pages in the back, one is a map, I'll explain that. The next page is a parcel that I'll introduce to you. And then the last 2 pages, the one is the board on the left. It's the same, except it's got a blue marker around it instead of yellow. And the last page has both of these, so you can actually see those identical boards. So hopefully this will help you when you review the material. Okay? So what I'm doing tonight is I'm making a presentation to the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board that has already been discussed with the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board. We've had 2 meetings with the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board. We want to make sure that the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board is included. With me tonight is Anthony Miranda. Anthony, please stand up. Anthony Miranda is our legislative liaison. He's a pretty recent addition to the city. He's came over from the Senate, Chris Lee's office. He's a fantastic addition. And he's been working this with me, and he actually has a draft resolution. So tonight we're not calling for action. Tonight's just a briefing. We'll entertain questions, and if you want us to come back, we can. I think the recommendation would be that it go to the Parks and Recreation Committee of this board and let them mull it over and perhaps send us questions. But Anthony has drafted a draft resolution if you're so inclined to support our initiative. And tonight I'm hoping to convince you to support it. So basically, if you look on the first page at the very bottom, 1998, it sets forth the history by which the court took property that was in the trust that was used for purposes other than the trust. And basically they're talking about the fire station on Kapahulu. So right at I think it may be as Paki, but the fire station was on trust land, and the court ruled that use of trust property was not consistent with park use. And so they made the city substitute other parcels for the fire station. And 2 of the parcels that they took and substituted were on Leahi Street. And that's the 0.35 acres shown as existing location on this back map that you have in your attachment, the very last page. So looking at that page, the existing location, there's 2 parcels there. In 1998, the court accepted those parcels into the trust in return for the fire station. And there were other parcels as well. But the point is, since 1998, Ocean Safety has operated out of that facility, and Ocean Safety's use of that facility is also inconsistent with the trust. And what the city needs to do is we need to build Ocean Safety a facility or purchase a facility and rehabilitate it for Ocean Safety. I think you all know that Ocean Safety became a department in 2025, and the voters approved a commission. So we're happy about that. The council did. We now have a commission, and they need a bigger facility. And what we want to do in the interim of building a new facility is put a couple of mobile trailers on the parking lot at that location on Leahi. And because the more we do on that property that's inconsistent with the trust, it just raises a red flag for the court. We're asking the court to take those 2 parcels, 0.35 acres, out of the trust, and we're willing to put 2.21 acres into the trust permanently in exchange. So it's not an even exchange. We're actually putting more land into the Kapi'olani Trust than we're taking out. And then the other commitment is that when we do relocate Ocean Safety off of that lot, it's insufficient for them, those 2 parcels will go back into the trust so that we continue to grow and expand the Kapi'olani Trust. And you'll see in this paper that the commitment that the mayor and I have made, and if you go all the way to the 3rd page, actually, I think it's the 4th page, it's the 5th page. I'm sorry there's so many pages. I didn't have these pages before the Diamond Head Board asked me to put together a conceptual plan, so I did that. But if you see on paragraph 5, it says the administration's goal, supported by the mayor and myself, is to continue to expand the acreage of the existing Kapi'olani Park Trust for the benefit of the people of the city and county of Honolulu. So whereas in 1998, the court was very specific about you take 7 acres out, you put 7 acres in, we want to take 0.35 out, put 2.21 acres in, and then when we build a new facility, put the 0.35 acres back. So we want to grow the size of the park. The acreage that we're proposing putting in, 2.21 acres, is at the entrance to Kapi'olani Park. It's Kalakaua, it's the entrance. So you now have park property on both sides of Kalakaua. And that property is heavily used by beachgoers and park users as well. So we think it's to the benefit of the people to do that. The other page in here is this page. If you can go to this page. when we met with the Kapiolani Park, when Anthony and I met with the Kapiolani Park Preservation Society, they highlighted the parcel in yellow. And their recommendation was that in lieu of the 2.21 acres, we consider putting this parcel in, or they said do both. Do the 2.21 acres plus this yellow parcel. And we're not in favor of the yellow parcel, but I want to be open and transparent about the Preservation Society preferred this parcel. The reason we don't prefer it is it's right behind the cafe, and it's a separate building, and the parcel line is between the separate building and the cafe. The separate building houses a Parks and Recreation base yard, and that base yard services more than just Kapiolani Park. So that becomes in violation of the trust if they service other parks than Kapiolani Park. And it also has a women's restroom there. So we would prefer as a first step to go with the 2.21 acres, take the 3.5 out, allow us to put trailers, mobile trailers there as additional office space when we locate and build another facility. And I am negotiating for a space in Koala Basin for Ocean Safety Headquarters. We don't own property there, so I'm negotiating with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. We're looking at a property exchange. But when it moves, then that would go back into the trust. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have today. Not looking for a vote today, would like you to consider it. And then at some point, if you're inclined to support the measure, we would like a resolution because it has to go to City Council. And after it goes to City Council, then it has to go to the court. And we would like to show that we have community support for this initiative. So I'm open for questions today, and then both Anthony and I will be available after the fact if you have questions by way of email or follow-up, and you can do that through Bob Finley, the board chair, or anybody.
Rolf?
Aloha. So the 2.21 acres, if I'm not mistaken, that's where a restroom is and kind of the entrance to the park.
That's correct.
Who has that property now?
City and County of Honolulu.
So the city and county has this portion, even though it's adjacent to the rest of the park.
So the city and county owns the property, but it's not part of the Kapiolani Park Trust.
Okay.
And so and that's a legal distinction. And so putting it in the trust means that it restricts what can be done on the property. It comes with heavy restrictions. Right now, it's not subject to those restrictions.
I walk there every morning. Is there going to be any change to that? Am I going to be permitted to walk there in the morning?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't change the use of the property the way it's currently being used, but it would restrict some uses that are inconsistent with the trust. So for example, you could not put lunch wagons or for-fee food vendors on that lot once it becomes Kapiolani Park Trust property. Okay.
Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Michael. Was curious, again, as you said, like, I just thought that was all part of the trust, but if that transfers over to the trust, are they going to maintain it? Are they going to?
Parks continues.
I understand they're big on restrictions, and I don't mean to be coy about that, but yeah, anything they can restrict in the trust lands, they normally do. And I get that, but I'm more concerned if we give that to them, I want them to maintain it and improve it. Is that going to happen or not?
Yeah, so it's a good question, but it's the same department that does that. So it's the Department of Parks and Recreation. They actually, in maintaining the property, don't distinguish between Kapiolani Park Trust property and non-trust property. But when it comes to the use of the property, there are greater restrictions on the park trust than there are on non-park.
And I do know the trust has not been big fans of Bicky in the past.
What is that?
The Bicky, the bikes, the rental bikes.
Oh, Beaky.
Beaky,
bike.
yeah, sorry.
Okay.
And there's currently a Beaky stand behind the cafe. I use it all the time.
Okay.
So I want to make sure they don't, with their love of restrictions, they don't restrict those bicycles.
Yeah. So the parcel that you're talking about behind the cafe is the parcel that the city does not propose putting into the trust. That's this one here. We propose leaving that just park property, which could have a Beaky bike station on it.
And has the trust expressed an interest in this being transferred over to them or what? Do they see this as a?
Well, the
good-
trustees are the council.
Okay, that's right.
So the council's looking for the boards to give them an indication of support or non-support.
Yeah.
And then it would have to go to the court and the court would have to accept it.
Oh, got it.
So it's a process.
Sounds like it. All right,
Yeah.
thank you for the present.
You're welcome.
Other questions? Catherine?
Hi. I don't see how we cannot approve of this. I think we should approve it because ocean safety needs a place to stage from. And since you've already had a new chief of ocean safety, he's got to operate out of something. And the previous location appears to be insufficient. So I, for one, would recommend the board support your efforts.
I appreciate that, Vice Chair. And I would tell you also that we invited the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board, and I'd invite you as well, that if you're in the neighborhood and you want to go see the current facility that Ocean Safety operates out of, go there and Chief Logger will take you around and you will see a facility that is insufficient for the Department of Ocean Safety. It's just not good. But they're making do, and they never complained about that facility, but now they have an opportunity to do better. So we're trying to get that done.
Rolf?
Are you looking for a vote from us today?
No, I'm not. I don't think it was put on the agenda as a vote, but I'll leave it up to the board whether you want to send it to the Parks and Rec Committee or whether you're ready to vote at a future meeting. And Anthony can give you the draft reso that we have. But the goal is to take the resolution from the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board, the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board, and then go to the council. I don't think the council will oppose this. There's no reason to oppose it. And then it would go to the court.
Yeah.
Don't call on Tim Geary. Don't call on him.
I don't know how to answer that.
You don't have to.
I brought this up at the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board meeting. I'm not really against this, but I'd like to look at the bigger picture. One of the office of the South Shore captain, his office is in the natatorium. You want to see something that is decrepit. I would be scared to walk in there. The ceiling's falling down. This is an office for us. So number one, that needs to be moved, just in case somebody's going to get killed going to work. Number two, I brought up, we need to relocate Ocean Safety Headquarters out of the park for a variety of reasons. Number one, it's not an acceptable facility for ocean safety. Number two, during the tsunami, they had to evacuate, or the non-tsunami, they had to evacuate everything out of that thing, and they went up to KCC. So I would like, maybe this is a temporary thing, but I'd like the city council and the administration to budget, I don't know, $6 million. We have city property up near the police station on 20th Avenue near KCC. It's a big, huge area. They could build a facility that will house all their jet skis, everything. It'll be out of the tsunami zone. That could be a base operation. We could do it for not really that much money. We already own the land. We could build a facility that is hurricane proof and everything else. So I would like you guys to look at a bigger picture. Get that captain out of the natatorium immediately. And then look on the bigger picture and build something up and out of the tsunami zone so that, God forsake, if we ever do have a tsunami, that isn't destroyed to begin with. And like I said, it's like penny wise, dollar whatever, you know?
Pound.
So anyway, I hope you take into consideration that. Thank you.
So Tim, I appreciate your comments. I'm not making a decision on where ocean safety will be located. We're going to let ocean safety, the first responders, make that decision, and they'll certainly have the opportunity to consider something away from the water. I think their preference is to be near the water. And we thought in Koala Basin, inside Koala Basin, they would be at lesser risk, but they'll make that decision. And as far as the natatorium, we agree with you. We need to move that district office out of there, and we're in the process actually of doing that. So you're right on both of those counts. I appreciate your testimony.
On WebEx, we have Margaret. Margaret, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Mike. I think I might have said I did take the opportunity to take a look at the property. There was no one there except I think there was one person in there feeding birds. But one thing that I'd really like you guys to keep in mind whenever you're building these facilities, wherever they are, just make sure that you put landscaping around to camouflage the equipment. Like if you drive down Leahi right now, it's a mess, on the side. It's behind the building, so they just throw things. And it would be really nice not to have to see that. And I agree with the previous speaker that maybe take a look at other options, but thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
I also have Board Member Worth. Sarah, are you there?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to start talking. But I thought this actually would be a great opportunity, to the natatorium is falling into the ocean, crumbling in, and this might be a great opportunity to remodel it because it is a piece of our history. It's a huge piece of our culture. Like the Duke used to practice there. So that's one thing I would like to see done. And two, the issue about it having to be moved in case of a tsunami, well, the police station's right there also. I would think that they would be a higher priority to move since they don't need to be by the water. And third of all, I would like to actually read the court decision. I'd like to read also the guidelines about, because you said that it's not allowed, this is not allowed. I would like to actually read that myself. So since it's not on the agenda to be voted on, luckily, I guess we won't be, but moving forward, I'd like to look at that first.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's see, anybody in the community, any questions? Seeing not. I think what I'd like to do at this time is, since OIP said anything on our agenda we can actually vote on, I'd like to hear a motion to support the concept of supporting ocean safety with a move to a better location than they currently have, whether it's here, Diamond Head, or Pilani Community Cart, doesn't really matter. But I would like to hear a motion to that effect. So,
wait,
Catherine?
sorry, Chair Finley. I'm sorry. May I ask a question, sir? I thought we were not allowed to vote unless it was specifically said, even though it's on the agenda, because even Lloyd has said before that if it's not on the agenda for a vote, we'd have to wait for the next meeting. So I'm curious, what is this OIP? Is there a new opinion that came out, or?
It is on the agenda. So,
I understand, sir, but it's not specifically up for a vote.
because there was no information besides what is provided
Correct,
by the
sir.
managing director.
Correct, sir.
Okay.
So I'm kind of a little hesitant about why we're pushing this through so fast, since there doesn't need to be a decision made immediately. The fact that I don't want to violate OIP's rules, and the fact that you said that OIP has stated that, I'd really love to see that opinion, sir, because I have not seen that. And the fact that Lloyd, he is our in charge of the neighborhood system, he himself was at our meeting and specifically said, I would recommend not voting because it was not on the agenda to be up for a vote. And you just said there was no information. So therefore, we're going to vote without looking at any of the other information. Yeah, this seems kind of
We're
odd.
not voting for a specific project. We're just saying that our ocean safety people need someplace where the roof isn't caving in on them.
So that's what we're voting on specifically. We're going to vote right now on Because like we could renovate the place. That could be another option. We could temporarily move them and renovate the natatorium. So there are other options. I just want to make sure we're clear on what we're voting on.
Okay,
But I
Well-
really don't think we're not actually allowed to. So I'll have to.
thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome, sir.
I want to suggest a resolution in support of the move because ocean safety needs an adequate facility to protect our citizens and the tourists who come to Waikīkī. And I suggest that this board support the presentation we've heard tonight.
I'm sorry, I missed Nate Sirota, who is online. Nate?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that, we all agree that Ocean Safety Department absolutely needs a new facility, but I've got to agree with Sarah here. Both her and I are not there in person. We've not been given any of these materials. So it's difficult for me to be able to agree to any vote when there's been where based off of information that I don't have. And I mean, I'm I'm very familiar with the park, and still I would like to see exactly what this handout is that's being given out. Like if this information was provided in the Google Drive ahead of time, no problem. But none of this information, none of it was posted ahead of time.
Chair, can we at least make a motion to support the idea of this move? Hello.
I'm sorry. The vice chair was bending my ear.
I'm just trying to find out if we can make a motion to support at least the idea or the concept of this facility for ocean safety.
Okay, hearing all of this, I can put this on a future agenda. Okay, we have a motion in a second. If you want further details and you're not convinced this is a good idea, I can always ask the managing director to come back. So I would like to withdraw the motion if you don't mind.
That's all right.
We could get to it in
I
future.
believe you're going to get our support.
I also have to say that Kapiolani Park and the areas in here are actually Diamond Head, Kapahulu, St. Louis Height, Board number 5. So I'd like to confer with the chair of that board to see what their opinion is on it. But I think we definitely have to take care of our water safety folks. And earlier on, I heard that HPD is looking for a location to park a lot of their equipment. So it might be a good 2-for-1 operation on that. So if you don't mind, folks, I would like to move on with our agenda. Managing Director, thank you so very much for being here with us. Citizens' concerns, stuff that is not on the agenda. Go ahead, use the microphone.
Hello. I'd like to be able to see the committee members too. Aloha, Chair Finley. Happy New Year to the board and all the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board members. My name is Kate Thompson. I have a boat in the Alawai for 30 years now, quite a long time. And I've been concerned about the parking there and parking enforcement for quite a while. And I've been trying to work with DLNR about it. But I wanted to let you know that we finally, after 3 years, have some statistics that you have in front of you as board members that 2,512 cars were towed last year from the Alawai and only 4 parking tickets were given by DoCare, even though the DLNR in 2022 said that DoCare officers are the only people that are supposed to be giving tickets in the harbor, although HPD does help on 4th of July. So at the September meeting, I asked about if your board could write a letter about the concerns of towing and to DLNR asking for a parking ticket phase in parking enforcement. And if the DoCare officers can't do it, then maybe they could deputize someone or let the parking company secure parking issue, parking citations or fines, like at the Waikīkī zoo. So there are ways through Act 163 to do something like this. And we just feel that the $170 towing, 165, between $165 and $200 at the end is too dramatic of a punishment for meter overstay. So Jeff Merce met with me at the LOI and did a tour. And I'm just not sure of the procedure, how to go about having a letter or a resolution, but I would like to formally ask to be on the committee for February so that the board could vote on a vote that, vote on a possible letter that I might work with. I think Lewis was very supportive of this too. Thank you. And Jeff and maybe, I think Corey, other people in District 1, maybe could help it edit it and feel comfortable signing it.
Okay. Jeff, did you have a comment on this?
Yeah, Kate, thanks there was a lot of information there. I know we're limited to 2 minutes, but thank you for presenting that. Just briefly, and if I could paraphrase, I don't want to put words in your mouth. What I'm sensing is people are frustrated with the way many things at the harbor. We're not going to go into all those, but specifically the parking and towing. And that is tied into the wayfinding and the signage. The wayfinding and signage is very difficult to understand there. There's numerous entities, et cetera, et cetera. So people do get towed. They don't understand. Also, there's dedicated free parking for shoreline users in the Prince Hotel. That's not, people don't know about that, and that's a requirement of their permits. So there's a lot of things that need to be daylighted, I think, and or clarified. I'm not saying they're obstructing, anyone's obstructing anything, but things need to be clarified and made user-friendly for the people who go to the beach. We have a right to access our shoreline. Everyone does. It's extra difficult for visitors and tourists. Let's also consider a common rate. There's surfers there. I go to that beach a lot. I don't drive a car, but let's look at a common rate to make that more inviting to locals. Let's get a read on the scattered wayfinding. And then also you mentioned the zoo. That seems to work pretty well. It seems to be agreeable. It's fair. People understand it. Why not? And I know it's enterprise services, but why not apply something like that to the Docare Dobor facility? A lot that we're digesting here. And I think what Kate was saying is if an appropriate vehicle would be to present a letter for our signature at next meeting, maybe that's something to consider. Bob, I know you had mentioned, let's hear from Dobor. Let's hear from Docare and DLNR. Let's see what they have to say maybe, and then we move forward. But we need to get a handle on how this is run. That harbor's been, there's been a lot of issues with it over the years. I'll leave it at that. But as far as this issue, let's make it fair. Let's make it right, at least this issue. And let's make it equitable for everybody and consider the Kamina rate as well.
So if I understand correctly, you would like me to get someone from DLNR as soon as they can come to our meeting. I know that the director is on medical leave. They've got an alternate in there who hopefully knows what the heck is going on with this. I can certainly attempt that and put it on the next available agenda when they are available because of the change of
I mean,
people.
that and Kate, how you feel about that, but I want this, I don't want this to linger or to languish. I want it to remain in our view. And I would say, and honestly, I don't know, I mean, Don Chang is the director of DLNR, but I think we need someone who's more boots on the ground up there to explain what that looks like. Someone from Docare or someone from Dobor to really walk us through the contract and that stuff. If Dawn can show up, great.
No.
It's her department, but I'd like to have people who actually work out there and maybe bring more folks. I know there's a woman here who, got that ticket.
Yeah.
So hear what the issue is from the public?
Sorry, just to interrupt, I have two more people
Sure.
want to testify on this real quick.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Justin Miller. I'm actually the examples of the predatory towing that happens out there. I parked at the just near the entrance in the white lines because I do know that the white lines are parking. The yellow, you get towed if you don't have a permit. I went out to dinner at 9:30. I bought the parking for 3 hours. 9:30, the tow company was I got towed before I got back, but at 9:43 I re-upped my parking, so I was only missing 13 minutes. 9:30, they told me, the tow company actually told me at 9:30 the tow truck was sitting next to my car. 9:31 they had it up on blocks. 9:39 they had it out of the parking lot. So, and they're free with that information. They even have it listed on the ticket. So.
Chair, yeah, I certainly support putting this on the agenda for next month, either in terms of potentially a letter from the board or potentially having somebody from Doe Board. But I agree with Jeff. I don't want this to languish. This thing came to us months ago. Right now, not that I want to put anybody in a spot, but we got Yvonne from the governor's office. We got Senator Moriwaki. We got Representative Tam. Everybody gets towed. Nobody gets a ticket. That doesn't strike you as ridiculous and outrageous? It seems to me, why can't we just go and swap? Why can't the administration tell DONR to stop that? The law doesn't necessarily require that they be towed. So this must be some policy that's in place. The governor's office can do something about it. The legislature can do something about it. You can put something either as a bill or from the legislature or a concurrent resolution. I know, Julian, we're looking at legislative issues for us, a resolution requesting it to stop. Seems to me we ought to just be able to get together and figure out how to get this problem solved sooner than later. And, we could even go outside and talk a few minutes now and let's get started on this thing. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
You're off.
I just want to say for my purposes, having worked for 4 years and pretty much been gaslighted the whole way, I'm just so excited to have the towing records because I was denied them for a long time. And just getting a letter from you folks that you want a ticketing phase would satisfy me at this point. I have something in writing, so that would be good. Even though, Louis, I appreciate, and Jeff, your comments, I would really love to actually implement a ticket phase, but at least if you have the intention that you understand what's happening here, that maybe we could build it in. I think Arlene wanted to share something.
Hi, Chair Finley. My name is Arlene Velasco. I'm actually with the Neighborhood Board 5. I'm the co-chair there. And I'm very familiar with this situation at the harbor. I've been working also with Surfrider on this situation. And the software company that Secure Parking has, the software that they have, is working with the tow company. That's why at 9:30, they know exactly what cars are going to run out and they can go there at 9:31 and tow your car. And then I personally called at the tow company and they told me I could not pay with credit card, that had to be cash. So they're earning a lot of money in strictly cash. And when I brought this up at our board meeting last month, this last meeting, I was told that that's not the case, that the tow company will take credit cards. I honestly don't think that they are telling the truth. I personally have my car towed. My car was towed there probably 4 years ago, and I had to pay cash. So I just want to say thank you for looking into this. The Neighborhood Board 5 is well aware of this as well.
Thank you.
I can second that. I had to pay cash too when I called.
Thank you. We've got you. Rolf? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, the paperwork that we've been presented with here says the minimum tow charge is $165. Multiplying that by the number of tows in 2024 comes up to $414,000. So I think there's the 414,000 reasons that this is being delayed.
Something doesn't make sense at all.
Should they report their income?
Okay, I've got two people on. WebEx. Jacob, I think your hand was up first. Jacob, are you there?
I am Chair Finley. Thank you very much for calling on me. Jacob Linsek, resident of Subdistrict 2. So over the past year, we've seen a lot of budgetary uncertainty. We've seen, unfortunately, a lot of fiscal recklessness emanating from Washington that's hitting our state this year. And there's a lot of talk about reversing the landmark 2025 income tax cuts and some hard choices we're going to have to make. And we're going to have to make some hard choices, but I would encourage all of our elected officials, all of our government officials currently in attendance, no tax hikes until there are real spending cuts and real structural reforms to how we do business in Hawaii, right? We had a lot of good years with the extra post-COVID funds, but that's come to an end. We're gonna have to make some hard choices. And I understand if we have to reverse some tax cuts, but before we get to that, no tax cuts without spending cuts and structural reforms first. We've got to change the way we do business in Hawaii. It's way too costly, and it goes beyond our geographic position. It goes beyond, the price of paradise, as we call it. We've got to meaningfully cut spending and reform how we do business here to make life cheaper and affordable. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we debate this, I've got another person online. Margaret, are you still there?
I am. The
Go ahead.
Hilton, as you know, is proposing building a new tower right on the tiny little lot by Kobe Steakhouse to further congest traffic. But they are guilty of misusing the free parking. They know, they know when to back out of it, move their tires. If they chalk their tires, there's no place for them to park. Yeah, there's no place for guests to park. There's no place for the Hilton employees to park. I don't know about the Prince Hotel, but this has been written up in the paper numerous times. And I think we really ought to, think about what we're approving and that they should have had to figure out the parking and the traffic congestion.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Catherine.
Well, as a voter myself, I've been associated with the Illinois Harbor since 1975, and boy, have things changed. Instead of encouraging boaters, instead of allowing people to come from other states and stay on board their boats, it has become, under the former leadership of, and I use that word sparingly, Ed Underwood. He revoked the right to live aboard, even though that had been appointed by Governor King, had assigned the right for boaters to live at the harbor. They can't do that anymore. The harbor has been in disrepair for years, and what they're doing with this parking is piracy. It should not be allowed to continue. And whatever we can do to make it stop, we should do so.
Jeff?
Thanks, Bob. May I propose that we work diligently to get a representative or representatives from the harbor, whatever that looks like, DLNR, DOE Board, DOE Care, or state reps or whoever, but get them on, let them know it's going to be on the agenda. I think it is fair. I mean, there's a lot of things, all of us have complaints about that operation at harbor. And Kate, I definitely want to work with you to get that letter. I think that's a great thing. I think it's only kind of fair that we at least let these agencies, know that we have these complaints, and at least let them try to explain to us. And then we go forward if we're still not happy with the letter and say, this is the changes we want. But Kate is very versed in all this, so it's not going to be a question of they're pulling the wool over our eyes. You'll clarify if they say something is inaccurate. So I think at least getting them in this room, not to attack them, but have them explain to us the rationale and the finance of this. If we could do it for next month, that'd be great. It keeps us on the radar. And then they at least can comment. And then if we want to move forward with a letter or resolution or whatever, based on what they said, then we can do that in March. But at least we keep the momentum going. That's what I propose.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll get that on the agenda. Other citizens' concerns? We're not discussing this one tonight because it's we have to put it on the agenda. So anything else? Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Chair Finley, I wanted to see if there was an update on the bus lane on Kuhio. I thought they were going to take that
The
out.
bus, DTS will be with us next month to discuss all matters bus and Cohill Avenue.
Okay, very good. The other thing on new board business, adjust the park closure hours, I'm totally for that, from midnight to 5. Also, since we have all our representatives here, I'd also like to push them to do an audit on all the waste, fraud, and abuse. We can't be the only state in the union that doesn't have waste, fraud, and abuse. I can't see that. But I don't see anybody looking at it. Everybody's complaining that there's no money from Washington or anything, but nobody's calling for audits of any of these welfare programs. So I just encourage, unless we're all angels, there's got to be some. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Any other concerns from our community? Community members, hurry, use the microphone.
Is DTS in charge of the speed limits? I've talked about this before, and that the LOI is 35 miles an hour. And I would like to see that lowered so it's consistent, 25 miles an hour or less in Waikīkī. Is that DTS?
I don't know if that's DTS or City Council, but we can ask DTS about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other concerns from the community? Hearing none, we will move on. In January, the only event that closes Kalakaua is scheduled to be Monday, January 19th, 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., which will be the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Parade. I have nothing else for January that the city has posted. Applications for liquor licenses to be heard on Thursday, January 29th. The Poke Bar Waikīkī, 2520 Kalakaua Category 1 will be heard. The Capitol Grill, which just opened, is applied for a special license while their permanent license is being considered. So if you have interest in those two places, Liquor Commission, January 29th. Seeing nothing. We'll move on to our mayor's representative. Nola, welcome. Happy New Year.
Good evening, Chair Finley and members of the Neighborhood Board. Thank you so much for having me tonight, and Happy New Year. Let's see. I wanted to make a couple announcements. First, I guess I wanted to just highlight a couple things in the mayor's newsletter. First of all, because it's the new year, I thought I'd read the mayor's message, if that's okay. I'll try to do it really fast, but Really aloha from the mayor on behalf of thousands of employees across the city and county of Honolulu who serve our communities every day. I want to wish every one of you a happy new year. We said at the outset of 2025 that we would shift from planning and strategizing to execution, ensuring our vision would become reality. We said that we would pick up the pace in our attack of the wicked problems that have challenged public welfare and adversely impacted our quality of life for far too long. We said we would not fade in the face of adversity and that unprecedented teamwork would be our hallmark. We did all that and more, and as a result, 2025 was a year of strong momentum for all of us. Great teams go from victory to victory. Our expectations for building on our success heading into 2026 have no limit because better has no limits. We promise we will stay the course and direction we have established toward our priorities. We clearly have made no small plans, and we will deliver unprecedented success in service to the people of Oahu. Let's make 2026 our best year yet. Rick Blangiardi. I'm so it always sounds better coming from the mayor himself, but that was my best shot. Thank you. I did want to highlight in the newsletter. I thought it was interesting. So something. Can everyone hear me? Something that I think all of you might be interested in. So the Board of Water Supply has doubled its rebate for special water saving appliances. So I thought it might be of interest. So if you buy an Energy Star clothes washer, the previous rebate was $75. Now it's $150. And I think that's pretty good considering the price of the washers are going up too. If you buy a WaterSense labeled toilet, 1.28 gallons per flush or less, the prior rebate was $100. Now it's going to be $200. And if you buy a smart water monitor, the previous rebate was $200 and now it's $400. Yes, yeah. It just says rebate can't exceed the purchase price of the product. But if you want to get the rebate, if you have the mayor's newsletter, there's a QR code here. But if you don't, you can call 808-748-5041. Again, that's 808-748-5041. Or you can email the Board of Water Supply. Contact us at hb.ws.org. So contact us at hbws.org for details on how to get that rebate. Okay, other than that, we're proud to announce that Kurt Lager has now been sworn in as the new Chief of Ocean Safety. And also another thing that some of you, there's a new flood risk map that takes effect June 10th. And so for Waikīkī, some of Waikīkī is in the flood zone. So it's just for new areas that, are going to have to get flood insurance. So if anyone's interested, you could take a look at that. Someone mentioned the 311 app, and I wanted to say that's kind of a major announcement for us. The Department of Information Technology has rolled out a new version of the 311 app, and they say it works great. So actually, we have someone on the WebEx, Tina from DIT, who's going to demo it. I don't know if it's going to be easy to see or not, but Chair Finley, do we have a minute to do the demo? Do you want to do that?
Go right ahead. That's a very important function of the city.
Okay, so the reason I wanted to show everyone is because this is the best way. If you have a non-emergency issue, like you want to report a pothole, there's been complaints about encroachment on the sidewalk, anything like that, you want to use the 311 app, and you can use it from your computer or from your phone. It's not a call-in, it says 311, but it's an app. So Tina, are you there? I think Anson is going to share a screen.
Yes, I'm here, and I can share screen on my side, right? Can everyone see the screen of HNO 311?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, so this is HNO 311 public service portal where residents can submit non-emergency requests,
So
report
wait, Tina,
issues.
is that the app? What does the app look like? Which is the
App,
app?
you can use your mobile device. If you have iPhone or Android device, you can go to App Store or Google Play Store to search for HNO 311. Then it'll pop up and it'll have this little icon.
HNL 311.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is desktop version that I'm showing now. So with this portal, you can report issues and track the status of the requests online. And issues can include like potholes, streetlight outage, and illegal dumping, feral chicken, etc. And we have, you can see the request types listed out here. All the request types are available here. And from a web browser or HNO 311 mobile app, you can access this main page, and no account is required to submit a request, but creating an account allows users to track updates more easily. The account system that we are using is called HNO Info account. This account is used across applications developed by our city. And if you don't have an account, you can sign up for one. And for submitting a request is straightforward and simple. First, I'll start off from viewing the request. Here you can see all the requests that's submitted in recent 30 days. And by clicking on the detail, you can see track the status and activities for this certain request. And also we are providing the map view. Based on your location, you can view all the requests that's nearby that's submitted by other people. And if you located the request that you are going to submit has been submitted by someone else, then you don't have to submit anymore. So how to submit the request, you can come to request service part. And you can either create as myself by logging in or create anonymously. But I'll show you how to create as myself. So when I click on that, usually let me log off first. So if you're logged out and come here to create as myself, it'll prompt you to log in. If you don't have an account, then you can click sign up button to click create a account. But if you have an account for for me, I have an account for Parks and Recs that sometimes I use for applying a class, then you can use the same account that you have with Parks and Recs to sign in here. And today I'll demonstrate for submitting a street light here. And street light is not working. And you can put a description. All street lights are off on Waikīkī Street and Milani Street. And you can also attach a photo. You can take a picture with your mobile device and upload the picture that you took. And you can either point at that location. Usually if you are using the mobile device, it'll detect your current location, or you can use the search bar to search for the location. Okay, then after setting the location, you can just submit. So your request has been submitted, and you can see I have gotten email also for confirming that your request has been submitted. And after submit, if you want to track the requests, then you can always come to the portal, or every single time when there's a status update, you will also get an email notification. But that's only when you have submitted the request by logging in. If you submit it anonymously, you have to always come to the public portal to track the status. And I can see my request that I submitted. And you can track the status here. Yeah, so submitting a request is very simple and straightforward, and you can easily be done. It can be done like within a minute. And we also provide here a FAQ if you have any questions that you want to quickly check. Yeah, that's all I have. This is like simple applications that can provide you a platform to submit any non-emergency issues. Any questions?
Thank you so
I
much,
have a
Tina.
question. Whoops. I have a question. Do you need to delete the old app?
Board members, any
311
questions
app?
about 311?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Community?
you can delete it, or
The old one.
even if you don't delete, it's not
It looks
currently.
exactly the same, but it's asking me for a password and I don't remember what that
Yeah,
password was.
so what you need to do to download this is do you have iOS or Android?
I have an iPhone.
iPhone. Okay, then you go to App Store and search for
Uh-huh.
HNO 311.
I did.
Yeah, did you download?
Yeah, it looked like I already had it though. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you already have it.
Well, I
Okay.
don't think I had it from you folks. I think it maybe is the old one.
How you can check
Okay.
is you can check the icon. If the icon is like this, if you can see my,
Yeah. Okay, let
yeah.
me see.
If the icon is this blue background with
Uh-huh.
311 top, it should be our recent app.
Okay.
If it's Honolulu CDCO, then it's old app that's developed by vendor.
Yeah, that's what I have, the old
Oh
city.
yeah,
jail.
you should delete that then.
Delete that app. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
So board members, do you have any questions on this 311 application? Members of the community, any questions? Certainly a good, just a sec. Certainly a good thing to keep you from calling me about a burned out stoplight. We have one hand up. Is it Gloria? Gloria, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I just want to say that that's a great app. I've used it many, many times. I used the old one and I've used the new one, and it's a great tool for anybody that lives here that want to report problems. They get on it, they answer you back. It's really a nice thing. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gloria. Any other questions on 311? Seeing none, Nola, would you like to continue with your mayor's?
Thank you so much, Tina.
No problem. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so for the remainder of the mayor's report, I'll give updates from actually, since we didn't meet in December, from November. So in November, multiple board members requested left turn signals on Cohio heading Eva for the intersections of Ohua, Walina, Uluniu, and for Diamond Head bound for the intersections for Nohonani and Pauakalani. So the DTS response to that November question was that DTS will conduct an investigation which will include a review of the area's traffic collision history, left turn studies, and site inspections. They will inform the board of their findings by the end of July 2026. Okay, the rerouting of the W bus line. Resident Winesek requested to re-examine the W bus route to be re-looked at as he noticed big gaps between stops. DTS said the bus W line is a rapid, frequent, and limited stop bus route that prioritizes speed of travel. While access to W line bus stops may not be as convenient due to limited stop nature, the gaps between bus stops are necessary to achieve the desired frequency and rapid service in which it is currently operating. Okay, transit fare. Resident Winesek asked for the possibility of having other ways to pay for transit fares, such as phone tap to pay. DTS is currently in the process of implementing an upgrade to the existing HOLA system that will allow passengers to tap on the bus or Skyline using their credit card or digital wallet. The upgrade is anticipated to go live early in 2027. Okay, bus parking on Kapahulu. A resident and members Filek and Hensky raised concerns about the bus parking on Kapahulu Avenue near the zoo. They noted that buses park far from the Kapahulu station across from the Queen Kapilani Hotel parked are obstructing pedestrian crosswalks, multiple street parking, and causing traffic. And DTS responded on Sunday, December 7, 2027, the bus route E-Country Express was modified to terminate on Montserrat Avenue instead of Kapahulu. The temporary terminus located on the Cocoa Head side of Kapahulu Avenue between Cartwright Road and Kuhio Avenue was also discontinued. These modifications should help reduce the number of buses on Kapahulu Avenue. The bus W line terminates and lays over on Kapahulu Avenue fronting the zoo. W line will continue to be evaluated and adjusted as necessary to minimize layover time. Okay, delineators. Resident Hatterman requested for delineators to be added on Nohonani Street near the White Sands Hotel to prevent vehicles from parking in the middle of the street. DTS responded, the Department of Transportation Services has completed its review of Resident Hatterman's request for delineators on Nohonani Street to prevent vehicles from parking in the middle of the roadway. The city does not install delineators in the middle of the roadway for the purpose of restricting parking. The use of delineators is intended to clarify marked lane boundaries, helping motorists navigate confusing or unexpected roadway alignments such as sharp curves or lane reductions. In addition, installing delineators at this location would prevent vehicles exiting driveways on either side of Nohonani Street from traveling in both the Mauka and Makai directions. As such, delineators will not be installed. DTS recommends that area residents contact HPD whenever parking violations are observed, as HPD is the appropriate agency to address and enforce parking regulations. Okay, the Kuhio bus lane member Almu provided evidence of vehicles using the bus lane to pass slower vehicles or to avoid left turning cars, which creates dangerous situation and further congestion. DTS suggests that information on these incidents be brought to the attention of HPD also for further observation and enforcement of traffic safety regulations. Okay, so that will be referred to HPD, although I think, again, they're asking that residents contact HPD on either, the 911 non-emergency line or the the 311 app to report kinds of ongoing violations. Sidewalk encroachment. Resident Hatterman raised concerns that basalt seating for customers is blocking the sidewalk, forcing pedestrians to walk on streets of Dukes Lane. DPP responded. They investigated on November 11, 2025. They revealed that BP number 856934 was issued on November 13, 2020 for outdoor dining in Dukes Lane. No, Dukes Lane is located at 349 Seaside Avenue, which is listed as private property. Meets the allowable walkway for pedestrian access. So that's the response from DPP. Okay, and the last item is regarding car towing. Resident Oates Wilding questioned why cars are being ticketed and why some cars are being towed after the Monday and Friday street sweeping on Alawai Boulevard. And HPD responded to this. They said, police conduct parking enforcement along Alawai Boulevard daily. Signs are clearly visible to inform the public of parking restrictions. Some violations only require a citation and some require towing the vehicle in addition to the citation. An example is parking in a tow zone during certain hours. The HPD enforces parking ordinances, other applicable laws to ensure the smooth flow of traffic and to assist other departments like the Department of Facility Maintenance and street cleanup efforts. And I think that's it.
Nice short report.
From
Thank you.
November.
Any board members, do you have any concerns for the mayor that we haven't covered tonight? Members of the community, any concerns for the mayor that we have not covered tonight? I don't see any hands on. Jacob. Oh, Jacob, are you there?
I am, Chair. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Nola, for another great report. I appreciate all the information and all the questions that I keep fielding you. So really appreciate that. Really appreciate also that DTS looking to roll out tap pay in 2027. Really excited for that. I think that's going to be a really good boost to our transit system. But I wanted to go ahead and sort of talk about concern with the city websites, right? The neighborhood commission office has a really good website with really good, easy to find information about meetings for neighborhood boards and the neighborhood commission, where to find agendas, minutes. The Google Drive system is really good. Unfortunately, some of the other city commissions aren't so good. The planning commission, police and fire commissions come to mind immediately. Their websites are pretty lacking, pretty disjointed, really hard to find meeting information, agendas, discussion items, other documents. And the city events website looks like it's about 15 years out of date. It's pretty slow. It's not very intuitive. You can find the information you're looking for if you spend a good amount of time looking for it. So, the city can get it right. The NCO, like I said, is, I think that's, the gold standard for having an easy to access, intuitive website with easy to find relevant information. If we could get the other city commissions to really embrace that, make it easier to find repositories of meetings, minutes, agendas, recordings, I think that'd go a long way to boost civic participation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, also on WebX, who do we have?
It's
Margaret?
me again. The entertainers are back with their amplified music and noise. They're back in full, again, they're just disruptive, they're scary, they're back, and I don't know didn't something happen, Bob, that they were supposed to be cited or arrested or something? It's really bad.
Didn't understand. We're having a problem with understanding totally. Could you chat with us on your question?
Could I what?
Could you chat? Right in the chat what your question is?
Oh, sure. It's just about the amplified music in Waikīkī on the street of Kalakaua.
I believe we can defer that one to Chair Waters, who is working on a bill on street music. Okay, I don't see any more hands. I don't see any more. Gloria.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. I'm not sure that I have the right department, but recently twice actually, I've had to call for an ambulance for assistance. And the wait time for the ambulance is really scary. One time it was an hour and a half, and the other time it was about a half an hour. And I know that I called back at the time with the hour and a half, and they told me they were prioritizing and it was very busy. But just to let you know, the person actually wound up having a stroke and is now incapacitated. So I don't know what can be done about the times for the ambulances. I know that it's probably a problem, but I just wanted to bring it up.
Thank you. Nola, I guess we can hear about that at our next meeting. I don't see any more hands. I don't see anybody. Nola, thank you so very much for being with us tonight.
Very much. Thank you, everyone.
Do we have a representative from Chair Waters? Yes,
I'm
there-
here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, good evening, Chair and members of the board. I'm Tasha Luke with Chair Waters' office. I just have a couple of quick updates tonight. Bill 76, introduced by Chair Waters and Budget Chair Val Okimoto, would require the Director of Budget and Fiscal Services to develop, maintain, and publicly post a searchable online database of city revenues and expenditures. The database would be free, open to the public, updated at least monthly, and accessible through an open checkbook-style web-based system. And that bill was reported out for second reading today. And Resolution 25-316 will be heard at the January 28th full council meeting and would accept a $1 million community benefit from Hilton Grand Vacations in partnership with the WBID to support restoration efforts at Cohio Beach Park. We extend our thanks to DPR for already removing benches at the park and to Hilton Grand Vacations and WBID for their partnership and collaborative work in advancing these improvements. I did hear the question about the street performers getting loud again. Chair Waters is working on a measure for that, but I will bring that to him and see what can be done. With that, I'm happy to take back any other questions or concerns to Chair.
Okay, questions for Council Chair Waters, members of the board, members of the community? Oh, Jacob. Jacob, are you there?
I am Chair. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak. Appreciate Council Chair's report to the Neighborhood Board. And I was able to provide written testimony in support of Bills 76 and 77. Hopefully we can get these across the finish line. But I also wanted to highlight two bills still working their way through the legislative process. Bills 71 and 72 from last year. Those would provide much needed parking and zoning reform. So I would encourage Chair Waters to help make sure these bills don't get stuck, make sure they're able to make their way through the legislative process, and make sure that, we need these bills to address our affordability concerns here in Hawaii. So let's get these bills unstuck and let's move them let's get them into actual legislation. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I forgot to bring this up before. And Michael Brown, who's formerly on the board, brought this to my attention, but the former gay bar at Seaside and Kuhio, that property's owned by Queen Emma. That's been vacant and boarded up for years now. And I guess I'd just like to get a update from Chair Waters of the city and what the deal is with that, and what Queen Emma plans on doing with that.
Actually, I contact Paul Kosasa about once every 2 months. He's eagerly awaiting his permit from the city to demo that area. But he's been waiting for 5 years or 6 years, whatever it is. So yes, it might be good to press that from the chair level. I don't see any. Gloria, did you have something or? Okay. Yes, no? No, sign went away. Question for Chair Waters. We heard earlier concern from a resident about the speed limit on Alawai Boulevard. I am unfamiliar with who sets the speed limits, if it's city council or if it's Department of Transportation. Could you ask the chair who's the real person who does that? Because I'm sure in the discussion here, we would all have an opinion about what the speed limit should be on Alawai Boulevard.
Yes,
Any other-
I'll ask the chair about that.
Okay, great. Any other concerns from the community? Seeing none, board members, any further concerns for Chair Waters? Seeing none, Happy New Year, and we will move on to Senator Moriwaki, who is, as usual, here and full of information for us. Senator?
Aloha and Happy New Year, everyone. It's good to be here. I have a report that's pretty scanty. We're starting the session. I sit on the Ways and Means Committee, so we've been going through briefings for all the departments. Started last week, and it's nonstop till next week. The legislature opens on the 21st. That's next Wednesday, so you're all invited to join us at the session. It's the second year of the biennium, so it's not as festive. Most of the offices will be open, so come on down. What I have in my report are just bills of interest to the community, and I've listed them. I think I have something like 40 some odd bills that I'm introducing. Some of them are of interest to the community, others may be more statewide interest, but I'd be glad to share that with you. The session has to open first, so after the 21st, there'll be a slew of bills from all of the legislators rushing to get numbers on them. Once they get numbers on that, then we can start trying to get them heard in various committees to which they're assigned. The Puna Caucus that I co-convene with my counterpart in the House, Representative Chun, is limited to 5 bills in that package. And in that package is a caregiver tax credit bill, a state plan for hearing loss, making permanent the rent supplement programs for the elderly and disabled and those on fixed incomes, requiring dementia training for first responders, and it's requiring it for like the police to know how to treat many with dementia or Alzheimer's in the community when they confront them. And finally, in-home health care and support services for those who don't qualify for Medicare and Medicaid. I do have a report. It was sent out. If you're not on my mailing list, my email mailing list, you probably don't know about it, but you should. And those who answered, I respond. So there were a number of questions from homelessness to noise, to ways we can generate income for the state, because we are facing major cuts on the federal support system. And so we are looking at so one of the things in the Ways and Means Committee, in the Senate anyway, is we're trying not to take back the tax cuts that we instituted a couple years back. And in order to do that, we're going to have to make cuts in the departments. So we're looking at how we can address those issues using special funds, using ways in which departments can be more efficient. And part of that effort is looking for ways to generate income in ways in which it'll be sustainable and be more cost efficient in the ways that we organize and work through the departments. There are major problems, from biosecurity and coconut rhinoceros beetles to housing, affordable housing, and the homeless and having mental health services, which are very costly. So that's where we are. You can look at the results of the survey. You have bills. Well, actually, tomorrow's the last day. We are sending bills to the drafting agencies so that we can get them in the queue to be introduced next week. But if you have any ideas, we have, as I say, a number of bills that came from you, and we are proceeding to get them passed. And then if you see some of these bills in the next meeting, I'll have some of those bills. And if you can testify, it will be very helpful. When I was chair of the subject matter committee, if people didn't testify on a bill, I would move on. So it really is helpful to have people testify on bills of interest and support them, because we listen to the public when we look at these bills. So I do want to put in a plug for Major Okamoto. We are very, very lucky to have him in Waikīkī. He was the commander in District 1, which is our neighbor in Kaka'ako. And I tell you, he's a very hands-on major. So I'm really pleased that he's back in the field and in Waikīkī. So treat him well. and I hope then to continue the work that Major Sleater started a while back to really get not only community policing and patrolling, but ways in which we can really work together to support our first responders who support us. I'm open to any questions.
I'll start. Jim?
Yeah,
Followed
thanks,
by
Senator, and Happy New Year to you. Just a couple things. The first bill of interest bullet point, establishing state voting facility management lease program. Yeah, that's certainly apt based on the discussion tonight. We want to keep this on the radar. I guess we would want to know, or I would want to know more information on that. We certainly want to improve the conditions and create a more inviting atmosphere, a more equitable atmosphere as far as how we implement, how we raise things. I personally want more clarity and visibility on how that whole thing's operating. So again, you were here tonight, but hopefully next month we will have some players from the state, city, county, and just kind of get to the root of this. We're not going to solve every issue. The big issue stated tonight was the wayfinding, the signs of confusion, and certainly the equitable application of the towing. That's just a.
You know, as I look at what was
Kate?
presented by Kate, it seems, and I know a little bit about the company. I think what DOBOR does is contract it out and say, okay, now we don't have to manage.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and so they're not overseeing, but when I see rates like fees $165, it's egregious. So I will do my share in talking to DOBOR. And also the interim director is the deputy director, Ryan Kanakaole.
Okay.
He's very good. And so he came before the Ways and Means Committee today, and he's really on top of his divisions. So I will go back to them, but I think I will ask him and maybe Megan Stats, who's the DOBOR administrator, to try to come here next meeting and see what we can do about this towing company.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And just one more, the other bullet point is this registration surcharge. Cars don't pay for them. They don't cover the cost of their impacts to the road. So I'm always for an increase in a vehicle registration. Let me clarify that. But I am curious, how do we arrive at a hood height? And then what's the nexus of the hood height to helping our kupuna?
Oh, okay, no, let me just explain that. I know that my staff put that together because the Department of Transport, it was Oahu MPO had a transportation conference workshop last week, and they showed these really high, 40-foot high vehicles, the trucks or the whatever's vans. And they showed a little boy in front, and the visibility is so poor. So this was a way of deterring, and looking at what you're driving.
I like it. So just curious how you arrived at that, but that's
It was a-
great. Thank you. Got it.
I've got Lou followed by
Oh, okay.
Lisa.
Oh, no, I'll defer to Catherine. She can go first.
Thank you. I too am very interested in this boat harbor, and since I was the one that first introduced you to the LOI several years ago, and we had a series of meetings. Senator, instead of fooling around, let's get a company that will go in and professionally manage the LOI boat harbor. This is ridiculous. It's gone on for years. The docks are in deplorable condition. The pump out station isn't working. The water is behind a fence so the boaters cannot access it. It is ridiculous, and it needs to stop. So I hope that this is a very forceful event on your part.
Well, and that's the intent of that bill, is to have a company that knows what they're doing in managing harbors. And I think, not in defense of Dobor, but their charge is ocean recreation. It's not harbor management. And so that's what we're looking at. And there's some discussion of, I know that in 1990, Dobor inherited from the Department of Transportation all the small boat harbors. And we're looking at possibly going back to the Department of Transportation that does manage harbors. So there's some discussion on that as well. But in the meantime, this is the one of the ways in which Dobor sees that they can manage the harbors.
So you're not looking for an outside private company?
We are.
You are.
That's what this bill is.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you, Senator. I just want to say, I think this is excellent. It really looks like you surveyed the community and you're covering a wide range of issues that I think are all important. So I think that's great. I would highlight this garbage truck early trash. I mean, that's been a very thorny issue. So I'm happy to see the legislature take a crack at trying to solve it. I don't know if you'll be able to or not, but I continue to get emails all the time about this issue. So whatever you can do at the state level, I think would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good. Okay, I've got Greg. You haven't had anything tonight. Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, Senator Morawaki. Greg Misakian here, and I just wanted to ask one question, but I would like to say that, I've been participating with the Good Government Caucus. I know you're familiar with it. I'm sure you've seen that. And last week I participated in Good Governance Day at the state legislature. So these are both at the state legislature. And I just wanted to ask you your thoughts. I know it's been discussed a lot in the media. We've also at Kukua Council, we've had Mr. Silvert, Alexander Silvert, come join us and discuss a little bit about the concerns for ethics issues and what's going on with a potential bribery of $35,000 to an unknown, currently unnamed legislator. And there is a known with respect to that. So there was a wiretap. And I just want to know your opinion if you believe that the AG's office should investigate, right? Currently, they've said they won't, or that there should be a two-part question, or that there should be a legislative committee convened to investigate. That's the two-part question. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just answer in terms of my own opinion. I sit in the Ways and Means Committee, as I said earlier. We've got a lot of issues before us. We can't really cover all of them, and we're trying to handle as much as we can within our budget and looking where we can tighten the buckle on it. So the $35,000 so-called alleged bribe and trying to investigate that with our limited resources, I think is not good use of our resources. I know the Senate president for the Senate asked each one of us whether we knew anything about it. None of us did. So we leave it at that in the Senate. I don't know about the House. But what I think is that we only are together for 4 months out of the year. And we've got a lot of bills, a lot of budget reviews to go through. And I can't see us spending some time investigating when both the federal and the AG is telling us that they are cooperating and working with the FBI. So it is really something that I don't think we have the resources nor the time to be dealing with at this time.
Yeah, I would like to add that this was known by the legislators many months ago, so you had plenty of opportunity during the course of last year to look into this. There was a request to actually, pursue this. And so right now the AG's office is saying that they can't do a parallel investigation. They're concerned, but I just wanted to add that. So the legislators could have done something and, just convened and discussed and maybe brought the former legislator back and asked a question. But I appreciate your response. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I see Jacob on the WebEx. Jacob, are you there?
I am, Chair. Thank you very much, and apologies for not being able to join you in person today, Senator. But like you said, you got a jam-packed legislative session coming up. I appreciate all the bills, new bills you're introducing and putting forward this year. But there are some bills held over from last session I want to highlight. Hopefully, we can get traction on them. The first one being SB 375, which it would have a commission on government restructuring that's stuck at the Ways and Means Committee. SB 418, which would have mandatory 5-year regulatory reviews, is also stuck at Ways and Means. And SB 1081, which would create an independent legislative budget office, right? In my community concern, I spoke about we need real spending cuts and structural reforms to address some of our issues before we start talking about tax hikes. And I think this trio of bills can help us get a long way into some meaningful structural reform. I would also like to highlight a bill that your colleague, Rep. Tam, got passed through the House and into the Senate, HB 141, stuck at the Judiciary Committee. Our Elections Commission has become a total circus. You have a band of far right-wing election deniers just out there mucking up the works, sowing all sorts of doubt, really just lying and abusing our open government system through their teeth. And HB 141, I think, is an appropriate response to reform the Elections Commission so they can get back to their actual job and not become a grandstanding circus for these far right-wing nut jobs. I hope we can get these 4 bills unstuck this legislative session and get them across the finish line. And I appreciate everything you do for the district, and hopefully we can see some progress on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sarah, did you have your hand up, Sarah? Okay.
Yes, sir. Hi. So this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is the article today on the front page of the local paper saying state senators say they didn't take $35,000 in a paper bag. Hopefully the question wasn't that specific, because that's quite easy to get around. That sounds like politician, like, oh, I didn't get it in a paper bag, but I got it in a cloth bag. It's like I didn't have sexual relations with that woman sort of answer. But my biggest concern actually is that the best they can do? Like, that's how he thinks he's going to address this big of a corruption issue, by going around and just asking, hey, do you know anything? Do you know anything? Oh, hey, I don't know a lot of thieves that would later come forward and just admit that they did it. So I find it concerning you saying that we don't have enough money, we don't have enough time. This should be a priority. This is one of the reasons why Honolulu is one of the most corrupt counties in the nation, because it seems like this sort of lackadaisical attitude. And the fact that there is enough money to give legislatures a raise implies that there are funds available. So hopefully you will change your stance on that issue, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Anything else for the senator? Seeing nothing in the board, nothing in the community. Thank you, Senator, and I look forward to you sending me the list. Representative Tam, there he is. Happy New Year, and looking forward to this session.
Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's good to be here on the first neighborhood board of 2026. So as mentioned, opening day is January 21st, 2026. I invite you to come to the Capitol and say hi to everyone and meet your representatives. If you live in the district, it's me. If you're not in the district, please go see them as well and their senators. You have my report that was passed out to all of you. This legislative session, I'll continue to chair the House Committee on Tourism. Another thing that I would like to talk about is on January 27, 2026 at 2:00 p.m., the Green Fee Council will present their recommendations to a webinar. And if you're interested in that, please contact me and I'll make sure that I get you the registration link so that you can register for that. Part of this funding will go towards Waikīkī beach replenishment projects. That's going to be part of the recommendations. And I think that there's a vested interest for this neighborhood to want to look at that as well. As mentioned to Senator Moriwaki, our bills do not have bill numbers on it. At the same time, I just also sent 2 bill drafts back down for edits and revisions. So I will get those bill numbers to you as soon as I can. The House is different from the Senate. We have a 10 bill limit this year, so I only can introduce 10 personal bills for the neighborhood and 10 bills for the Tourism Committee. But some of the bills that I have would make the noise camera pilot program permanent and to start issuing citations on violations, to a dementia-friendly business database, so that those who are on the verge of Alzheimer's or who have Alzheimer's know which businesses have undergone the 1-hour Alzheimer's workforce training program to try to destigmatize this and encourage more people with Alzheimer's and their families and caregivers to be able to go out and enjoy a restaurant without feeling that they're going to be stigmatized. I know the economic development has been an interest, so I do have a bill that would revamp some of our overseas offices that we currently have and to provide them some support so they can export some of Hawaii's products to grow our manufacturing here. I have a bill that would make condo doc fees that are downloaded online at no cost. And a bill for green fee dashboards for transparency. I know that that was something that you cared about last time that you mentioned it, and an illegal vacation rental enforcement bill. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in their surveys. If you haven't sent them in yet, please feel free to send them in or email your responses to my email at reptam@capital.hawaii.gov. With that, I'll take any questions that you may have for me.
Questions from the board members? Questions from the community? I have 2 hands. I have a motorcycle. Greg, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, Representative Tam. And I will be there on opening day at the state capitol. So you mentioned a condo measure for not having to pay any fees if it's electronically downloaded. I believe, is that a measure? It sounds like a measure from the last cycle, and I thought there was something that got pushed through, but maybe they changed the language. So that's one question, and then the other part of this is the most important measure for condominium owners was one that I had introduced or put forward as a draft last year, but I'm in the process of revising something right now. We're hoping it'll get drafted at legal, but it is for a state ombudsman's office. And Act 43 finally came up with the Legislative Reference Bureau's report at a cost of over $300,000 that I believe AI could have done at a cost of $0. But it basically just looked at 5 states. And this came out of the task force, the condominium regime task force. And a number of states have an ombudsman. Florida is one of them. The only way our state is going to get through what we know is a lot of corruption, a lot of backdoor stuff, a lot of kickbacks. There's contractor issues, one bid contracts. I've got issues at my condo association. The only way we're going to get through this is really to have a place where we can go to have a proper review and then some level of enforcement and fines or actions. And so I'm hoping, we've asked in the past, that I'm hoping you as a state representative will fully endorse an ombudsman. The report definitely showed that there's, Nevada and Florida have ombudsmans. There's a couple of other states that have something similar. And we know there's other states in the country that have ombudsman-like offices. So I hope that you support that. And I'd ask you to go back and take a look at the legislation that you're proposing, because there was something I thought that said certain documents are free if provided electronically already that was enacted, but I could be mistaken. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
There was a lawsuit that says that it had to be free, but it wasn't clear. So what the bill that I will be introducing would be codifying that lawsuit into our statutes. And the 3 docs that we're looking at is the general ledger, the project information forms, and statement accounts. And regarding the condo ombudsman bill, I continue to be open to it, but I just want to make sure that if someone does request a jury trial or a civil suit through it, out of a dispute, that they cannot be denied that simply because there is an ombudsman out there making an arbitrary decision.
Absolutely. And I fully endorse that. And the previous bill doesn't have that. So absolutely. There's always that right to go to litigate if you have to. Thank you.
Okay, I'm moving on to Jacob, who has your hand up. Jacob, are you there?
I am, Chair. Thank you very much, and thank you for your report, Rep. Tam. I know it's going to be a busy session, so I'm going to make this pretty quick for you. Unfortunately, we're starting to enter troubled waters for Hawaii economically. UHERO's is forecasting a mild recession for this year, and we've got all sorts of economic headwinds coming down from the federal level. With that being said, Hawaii really needs to step up its economic competitiveness. The Business Revitalization Task Force completed its work, and they have a whole slew of recommendations on how to improve our private sector economy out here. The Small Business Regulatory Review Board continues their work to make the regulatory burden less on working and middle class people here in Hawaii. And I implore you and your colleagues to really focus on how do we make Hawaii more economically competitive. We need a larger private sector to afford the levels of government spending we have. And right now, there's just such an imbalance and instability on federal finances at the federal level. We've got to do some more work on that. And I would also like to bring your attention to that HDOT, our Department of Transportation, has a really cool digital ID program. I've got my driver's license in digital form on my iPhone. I used it last time I flew out of H&L. But there's very low uptick from businesses, from even government agencies, where we have this really neat digital ID that can, just another way for people to prove who they are for, business and government transactions, and it's not really being adopted. So if there's anything you and your colleagues can do to really encourage the uptick and uppick of our state's digital driver's license and state ID, I think that'd be very good economically for Hawaii, and it'd be good for the people all around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I absolutely agree. I spoke to our Speaker of the House and our Economic Development Chair last year, and this year, our economy is going to be a priority for us in terms of diversification and economic development and trying to see where we can boost certain industries.
Okay, we are running way behind. Representative, thank you for being with us tonight. Appreciate it, and looking forward to the session. Next, we have the governor's representative. Yvonne, are you here? Oh, there she is.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to be back with you. Not sure that I have too much more to add to Rep. Tam and Senator Moriwaki's comments. Session starting obviously on the 21st, State of the State, and some robust discussions that are going to happen around economic development and all program funding. And the reality of what's happening at the federal level is not something that we are immune to here, whether it's energy, which is a field I work in, or transportation, or healthcare. There are affordability impacts. And so that will continue to be a strong focus along with housing, the governor's office. Very happy to continue to take back, feedback from the Waikīkī board, which I do monthly. All of that is heard. So with that, if you have questions, comments, happy to take them back to the governor's team.
Jeff,
Thanks. Happy New Year. Along those lines, we have some federal funding for the pedestrian bridge. I'd like to know, will that expire? Do we have any sense of what the federal DOT monies, where they stand for the proposed pedestrian bridge across the Alawai?
I don't have an answer to that. Certainly find out more. I don't have the specifics on them.
Yeah, I don't know if those expire or not, but that's gonna be a big one.
Yeah,
Everything's kind of expired at the federal level.
I mean, Solar for All, we have our rep here from the Hawaii Green Infrastructure Authority. We have allocated $18 million for on-bill financing to try and keep some of the solar going. Because the Solar for All program was one of the programs canceled before the holiday. And the green fee is expected to generate $100 million a year. So that committee is going to make recommendations about what that project funding should be used for in 2026. I think the only thing that's still not completely decided is whether that TAT will be accepted by the cruise industry. There's likely going to be a Hawaii Supreme Court ruling on that, but it's definitely meant for resilience and to combat climate change. And we pretty much know at this point that the value system we have for Hawaii around climate change is our value system, not necessarily the federal one at this point. It's important.
Yeah, I hear you on all that. So if we could just confirm for next meeting, the status of that dedicated funding for the pedestrian bridge.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
other questions from board members, from the community? I have Jacob. Jacob, please be brief. We're running about 20 minutes behind. Thank you.
Absolutely, Chair. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak. I just want to convey two succinct messages to the governor. Right now, the state LGBTQ Commission is pushing a petition to have Hawaii designated as a gender sanctuary state. I strongly oppose the governor making such a decision, especially via executive order. It should come from the legislative branch, and I'm very hesitant to be diving headfirst into mainland style culture wars out here. You know, we shouldn't really be swerving one way or the other on this. It's a very sensitive, very important issue, and I oppose that declaration. And I also I saw that the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation is trying to repeal Act number, I got it written here, Act 292, which was passed last year, limiting solitary confinement and other types of measures. I think that's pretty a counterproductive move. And I would encourage the governor to oppose any rollback of the reforms that were made last year via Act 292. Thank you.
Noted.
Any other questions for the governor? Thank you, Yvonne. You stick around with us all night. And Happy New Year. I have Rick Eggett coming up from the Waikīkī Improvement Association.
Good evening, Happy New Year. I'll be really quick since I know a lot of really good questions came up, but it took a lot of time. So First of all, I just want to say, we did, the Waikīkī Improvement Association, our members sponsored the New Year's fireworks, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. We've actually extended it from 8 minutes to 10 minutes this year. So it was very nice. But I think somebody had mentioned earlier about clearing the beaches. And it really was part of an effort that we've made in the past to make sure we do close the beaches overnight. And so maybe we can talk about extending that a little bit on New Year's Eve, but we'll see. I thought that was a good question and a good suggestion. We also just earlier this month, and Chair Finley participated in this, we had a visitor public safety conference where we talked about a lot of the issues that pertain directly to Waikīkī. One of the major ones, the one that I thought was major, I chaired it, for emergency declarations and talking about the different zones and what it would take to try to get better information out there regarding what to do in a tsunami emergency and the like. So I think we had a good conference, and hopefully some of those findings will get out there for everybody. Happy to answer any questions. Sony open this weekend, so a lot of good things happening.
Board members, any questions? Community members? Don't see any on here. Rick, I think one of the major things to me at that convention or that conference was the emergency evacuation procedures for Waikīkī. Evidently, way too many people that had access to a building higher than 4 stories evacuated and immediately called traffic everywhere. And I think later this year, we'll probably set up a presentation from EMS or whatever the current
I think the
agency.
important thing what Bob is referring to is that basically in a lot of buildings in Waikīkī, the best thing you can do is stay home. You know, shelter in place. Don't leave. Don't get on the street where you're in danger. You know, so in your building, if it's higher than 4 stories, go up. If you're in a condo or building like that and you're below the 4th story, your condo should have a designated area for the residents. So in other words, don't get on the street, because that's what immediately clogs up all of our roadways. My little factoid that I always put out is of the 492 major metropolitan areas in the United States, Honolulu is dead last in road miles per capita. That means that we do not have street space. And so in an emergency, it just exacerbates that situation that we face every day. By the way, we're not only last, but next to last is Long Beach. They had 2.11. We had 1.55. In other words, we're last by a lot. So that is and we're not going to get more roads. So we just have to do a better job of using our system that is in place. Take the bus.
Thank you, Rick. Happy New Year.
Bye.
The Hawaii Energy presentation from Sophia. Are you here? There she is. While she's setting this up, I'll go on to later in the agenda. We're going to talk about our legislative program this year. The Office of Information Practice told the Neighborhood Commission that a PIG would be inappropriate. I think Greg mentioned it at our last meeting. By the time the PIG can present something, it would be March. So I'm going to ask each of the board members when the bill numbers come out, to please send me the bills they'd like to see. I'd like to take advantage of Jillian and Lou, who always go through these things, to kind of spearhead that. Send me the information that you'd like to see on the agenda. Appreciate it. And all board members, if you have a favorite bill that you want to put on, please send it to me by January 30th so I can put it on the agenda. And again, this year, Neighborhood Commission Office advises that we support the intent of a bill when we vote to support a bill, not for the actual wordage in the bill, because as all of us here know, it might say green on January 30th and yellow on March 1st. So the wordage changes, but Jillian, if you and Lou could support that, I would appreciate it. Next year, we'll probably do a PIG earlier, maybe in October or something like that, so it can start work. Anyway, are we ready? Talking around, well, tech.
Okay, well, it looks like my technology is not cooperating right now. So lucky for you, I'm going to keep this really brief. My name is Sophia Summers. I am an energy advisor with Hawaii Energy, and we basically manage the state's energy efficiency portfolio, and we help redistribute funds through the public benefits fee program back out to the community in the form of energy efficiency upgrades. So what I wanted to talk about today was the two main programs that I think will really be helpful for small businesses and nonprofits and just the mom and pop shops here in Waikīkī. We have tons of programs that can translate to rebates and, you know, lots of dollar saves through energy efficiency that like the big corporations that are in Waikīkī can do. But I really just want to talk about our two small programs for nonprofits, restaurants, small businesses, and that is our Empower Grant and our Energy Advantage Lighting Retrofit Program. So our grant is available right now on our website. It is a tier-based system, and it is a reimbursement system. The Energy Advantage Lighting Retrofit, they actually did it here, where if you want to use one of our certified clean energy allies, just a fancy word for contractor, they will come in and give you a free assessment of your tenant space, your building, your facility, and say, okay, we can do this work. It's going to cost this much. Hawaii Energy is going to subsidize this amount. And if you're doing a basic like-for-like replacement, you can get 100% of that subsidized. If you want fancier controls, you might have a small copay. But if you qualify for Energy Advantage, you qualify for the grant. If you qualify for the grant, you qualify for Energy Advantage. So that just means that if you're on a HECO rate schedule G account, you're using less than 30 kilowatts a month, you are a restaurant and nonprofit, you automatically qualify. I'm so sorry my presentation is not available. Yes. What? Oh, I showed up at the wrong time. Okay. That's all right. I'm a little confused, but we're just going to keep going. So can you just raise your hand if you've heard of Hawaii Energy? Yes, you've heard of them. Okay, wonderful. So we basically have three pillars that keep our program running, and we have accessibility and affordability. That's really what I'm talking about today with these two programs, but we do it through clean energy technology upgrades. And then we also have a wonderful workforce development program where we educate and train professionals on facilities maintenance and energy efficiency upgrades that they can do. I work predominantly in the commercial office and retail sector. So I do a lot with businesses downtown. I do a lot with shopping malls, basically just trying to help reduce stress on the grid and make Hawaii more resilient. Unfortunately, there are some caveats for qualifies in that you need to be a HECO ratepayer. So Hawaii does not qualify for these rebates because they're not participating in the program. And oh yeah, you can keep going. But yeah, these are the two that I'm talking about today. The caveat being that you have to use one of our contractors, and that's just because we've vetted them. They're fully licensed and insured, and they're familiar with our program, so it's a super easy process. But the grant, we do require us to be notified in advance and give you that award letter before any work is done. And so you would be paying for it upfront, and then we reimburse you. And with Energy Advantage, the contractor will actually eat the cost upfront and will reimburse the contractor. So that's how it can be free to some businesses. But yeah, one is a grant particularly for refrigeration, HVAC, building envelope stuff, and the other one is solely for lighting. Yeah, we can keep going. And yeah, I've already kind of talked about eligibility, and it's just, here's the simple steps. We just verify that your project is eligible. We get a contractor involved. We look at the scope of work. We basically say you're good to go, or like, hey, these are the revisions that need to be made to get the money. And then you do the work and we give you the money. It's really wonderful. And we keep going. And yeah, so these are just some metrics for the success of the program. If you have any questions about that, I can take them after. Keep going. And then we have on our website, like, how do I find one of these clean energy allies, these contractors who help with the grant and this free lighting program? Well, you can go on our website at hawaiienergy.com/find contractor, and then you can say in the drop-down menu, like, I'm located on Oahu or Maui or Big Island, and I have a business or a home, and you basically just fill out the drop-down menu as it pertains to you, and then a whole list of contractors who are vetted through our program will pop up, so you know that you're going to be working with good people. And then, yeah, so these are just some eligible project types that we see for the grant. And I don't want to read them all out right now, but if you have anything to do with HVAC, you definitely want to reach out to us, because you can see a good return on that if you use high efficiency stuff. And kind of already chatted about that. Not eligible, yeah, businesses on the island of Hawaii. Entities that are not grid tied, so you must be grid tied. And then, yeah, if you are a business operating out of home office, we cannot do that. But pretty much anybody else. So if you have an auntie, uncle, a brother, a cousin who's got a business, and you're like, hey, your AC is so junk. There's this program that can help you. Please send them our way. We definitely want to help people get some improvements and, spend less money on their electricity bill with old, outdated equipment. So that's essentially what I wanted to share with you tonight. Here's our how to apply. You can talk to me after. I'll be around, and my business cards are in the back. I also have some flyers that you can take home on both programs. So please feel free to grab those on the back table. And I also brought a little pamphlet for how-to tips to save energy in your home. And with that, I will just say thank you so much for having me, and leave to questions.
Question, Jeff.
I know we're running kind of late. Great presentation. Thank you. Are you part of the state energy office, or are you affiliated with it all?
Yeah, it's good. Great question. I'm not a part of the state energy office. So how this works is that the Public Utility Commission puts out a contract for bid every 3 years, and more than likely a private company will come in and bid on that contract. Hawaii Energy is the name of the program, and Leidos is the name of the company that I work for, that gets to administer the Hawaii Energy program in the community. We have been the incumbents for about 15 years. We're going on 18 because we just won the contract again. And we feel like we've been really good stewards. But I think a big part of my job, if somebody was to ask me about what I do, is that I just try to educate people and let them know that we are here. If you are paying your HECO bill, you are contributing to this program every single month on a line item called the public benefits fee. And so our job is to manage that pool of money and redistribute it back out into the community. So yeah, the grant and Energy Advantage is one of the ways that we can help with some equity in that, and not just, having them go to large corporations or these big buildings, but getting them into the, small mom and pop shop.
Great. Keep up the good work.
Okay, I don't see any other questions from the board members, community. Thank you very much, and we will post this on our website. Okay, Gachon University, do you have a presentation that you can say? Okay, we got one more. You have it? All right. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me, I'm a bit hoarse today, but aloha and good evening, Chair Finley and members of the Waikīkī Neighborhood Board. Mahalo for the opportunity to present the Gachon University Student Housing Project. Please note that the images today are conceptual and subject to refinement through our design, community feedback, and the approval process. Next slide, please. Do you mind zooming out a little bit? Oh, there. Thank you. My name is Isaiah Sato, and I work with RM Tao Corporation. I'm presenting on behalf of 2000 to Kalakaua LLC. We have members of our team available in person and online. Our proposal is a 9-story residential building with 33 student housing units. The two key entitlements we're pursuing are the environmental assessment and a Waikīkī special district permit. Next slide, please. Okay, so the project site is fronting Kalakaua, right in the red in this image. In the excuse me. Sorry about that. The project is fronting Kalakaua Avenue between Keoneana Street and Kuomo'o Street. Kuhio Avenue is on the Diamond Head side of the project, and Ala Moana Boulevard is further to the west. As you can see, we're right there in the middle, that Tetris-looking piece in red. Next slide, please. This slide shows our project site, a closer view again. On the left of us is Keoneana Street, on the bottom is Kalakaua, and we're right there next to the ABC store, which is at the corner there. The property is at 2002 Kalakaua Avenue and comprises 18,218 square feet and is zoned resort mixed-use precinct. The site allows a maximum building height of 130 feet, and we're currently outside the SMA area. We're also within the Waikīkī Special District, and it's currently used as an open parking lot. Next slide, please. This slide, just wanted to show the traffic pattern. It's kind of hard to see here, but this image at the bottom is Kalakaua, on the left is the west side Keoneana, and on the right is Kuomo'o. I'm sure you're familiar, but on Kalakaua and actually both streets, there's curb cuts. So there's currently curb cuts on all the streets. We're going to be closing down the Keoneana and the Kalakaua curb cuts and keeping just the ingress and egress off Kuomo'o Street. So that's on the right. Hard to see otherwise at the top though. So it's actually a one-way street going up, and we're gonna do all our ingress and egress through there so that, you know, we're keeping the sidewalk frontage open just for pedestrians on Kalakaua there. Next slide, please. This slide shows our 9-story building in context with nearby properties. For reference, Oahu Surf 1 is 12 stories, Keoneana is 18 stories, Ambassador Hotel is 19 stories, and the Luana Waikīkī is 17 stories. So we wanted to highlight that our project and our proposed height is consistent with the general buildings in the area at 9 stories high. Next slide, please. Thank you, Anson. The project includes approximately 25,000 square feet of floor area with 33 total units. We're planning 21 bicycle stalls and 9 vehicle parking stalls. And the interior and exterior common areas include recreation space and outdoor lawn and a shared kitchen and office. Next slide, please. So for the next 5 slides, slides 8 through 12, we're going to have Yulia from the architect team going to be able to talk. Thank you for bearing with my throat. Excuse me.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Yulia, and I'm part of the architecture group. I'm excited to share a couple more details about the project. So this slide shows the site plan. As Isaiah mentioned, we're right across from Fort Tarusi and Aloi up at the top. We've organized the overall planning and the circulation to integrate nicely in the community. Our building is on the left side of the site. You can see the footprint of the white outline. And right next to it on the right is an open area park, essentially, for the residents. And then we have a little bit of parking that's towards the back side of the site. As Isaiah mentioned, all of our vehicular access is from Kuomo'o Street, so we've pulled all the utilities and cart traffic to the back of the site. Next slide, please. This shows the ground floor. You can see that we've layered the perimeter of the property with landscape and open spaces to keep within the Waikīkī character and a nice pedestrian experience. Our entrance is pulled off of Kalakaua. You can see a ramp and stairs sort of on the left side of the building. The ground floor is mostly administrative area, some public space, and then some utility. We have a big lanai, open air lanai at the front, kind of fronting the street that extends the interior program to the outside. And then the residential park is to the left side. And you can see the parking and sort of utilities to the back. Next slide, please. Floors 2 through 9 are typical dormitory units. There's a little bit of a layout variation in terms of studios, 1 and 2 bedrooms. All of the units are pulled towards the front of the building with a lanai to enjoy views of the park and long-range ocean views and sunset. And then the core of the building, the stairs and the elevators are towards the back. There's an open air corridor at the back side of the building as well. Next slide, please. So a couple of these images are very early stages conceptual renderings that we wanted to show how the building integrates into the surrounding context. The exterior expression is inspired by Hawaiian modernist architecture and sort of the Waikīkī environment. We've used the form, materiality, and textures to make sure that we're sensitive to Waikīkī and reinforce the Hawaiian sense of place. The image on the left is the aerial view of the building. You can see the streetscape. We've sort of kept a consistent streetscape similar to the rest of Waikīkī. The materiality of the building is based on natural materials, stones and stuccos, and also the color palette is a neutral color palette to make sure that we fit in with the neighborhood. The building form is expressed a little bit clearer on the image on the right. We've broken down the volume by separating the core of the building, which is on the left side, from the overall massing with this open air corridor, so you can actually see light and air pass through. Next slide, please. And then the last slide shows a little bit more of the materiality of the building. The ground floor, we've selected more darker lava rock to ground the building into the site. And then the rest of the massing is a much lighter color that sort of allows us to disappear into the sky. That's kind of it. Again, really early on, we're working with the development team to refine the design elements as we get closer to WST application.
Just have one more slide today, the entitlement timeline. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the process that we're going through. So again, we're going through the environmental assessment and the Waikīkī Special District. So we're up front on the far left in this, in the pre-submittal. So this is really the first step, first public outreach, the first discussion that we've had on the project. We're excited to come to you guys first there. So the neighborhood board, we're also going to be meeting with DPP later this month. And then we did do our pre-consultation where we began soliciting comments from agencies. We also did send a letter to the neighborhood board and the property owners that were right around the project site there. Once we submit the draft environmental assessment, then it goes to the city for review. Again, there's another round of notifying the agencies, organizations, board, and interested parties. After the draft EA, it goes to a comment period. So there's a formal 30-day comment period where you can provide comments on the project. Then we incorporate the comments and do our final EA. And again, that final EA goes to the city DPP for review. There. Once the final EA is completed, then we move on to our Waikīkī Special District permit. We submit that to the city. The city has a design advisory committee, so it goes to them to review the design of the project. There's also going to be a public hearing where community can provide input as well. And that's the end of our slides today. I just wanted to say that I shared the presentation with Anson here, so it's online on the Google Drive. Apologize for my hoarse voice today, but I'll be happy to answer questions. I'll work with you, Leah.
Jeff, did you have?
Yeah, I guess of the most important for everyone who wants to review it, the EA, when are you guys going to be in the environmental notice? Do you have a date when that's going to be? Should be the 20th or 22nd or?
Yeah, so the environmental notice is twice a month. It's the 8th and the 23rd. We're not sure yet because we actually, once we finish our report, we go back and forth with the city. So it could be a month or two out.
Okay, all right.
So it's not going to be there like, the beginning of February. It's probably a month or two out.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, as I always say with these can be reviewed by anyone. It's a public document. I'll be privy to it, of course, because I go on the environmental notice site, but anyone can review it and comment on it. I'll certainly be doing it. We look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Catherine?
Now, I noticed you only have 9 parking spaces. Are you expecting the students to use the buses or bikes, or what are you expecting?
So we're expecting a combination. Of course, as we've heard a lot today, Waikīkī, very limited parking. But we will encourage them to use the buses. There's an excellent bus system in Waikīkī, and there's an excellent Biki system in Waikīkī as well. So we're going to be encouraging, that multimodal use. I'm not anticipating all of the students to have vehicles either.
Okay, I'm having a little hard time placing this in. A fellow board member said, is this the property where Tony Roma is?
No, it's
No,
not.
that's
It's where all those food trucks are parked right now, next to the ABC store.
It used to be like they used to do rental car stuff
Okay.
in there. And right at that corner is it's the ABC
Yeah.
store.
In the past, it was a gas station. It was a U-Drive area. And now I think that you're probably leasing the property for food trucks at the moment. Okay. I had Nate asking a question. Nate?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. You have the 33 units there, but approximately how many students from Gashon are going to be accommodated there?
Thank you for that question. So as Leah mentioned, if we can go down to the mix right there. Yeah, so that's the mix. So there's going to be 25 or less studio units, 7 1-bedroom and 1 2-bedroom. So we expect, 1 person per bedroom there. So 25, doing a little math, 32, yeah, probably 34 people.
Nate, is that what you're on it?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. I guess the questions we've asked of all the small buildings, what is the first floor going to be? Is that a office, a washroom, a laundry? I assume you're not going to have housing on the first floor.
Yes, I'm gonna call you Leah for that, but just wanted to clarify, I actually made a mistake. There's gonna be 2 beds in some of the units, so it might be up to double that. So it might up to be about 65. So sorry about that.
So the ground floor, as we come in, there's a couple of offices, administrative offices for the university. Then we have the communal area is on the right side, so public space with a kitchen for the students. And then in the back, there's electrical, mechanical, just utility spaces, and bathroom, a little lobby area. So mostly public with a little bit of utility tucked in the back, but no residential units on the first floor.
Yeah, that's come up with the last 2 buildings we've asked because of the seawater rise and all that, what's going to be on the first floor. So there'll be nobody sleeping in a unit on the first floor or on the ground level.
That's correct.
Okay. Other questions from board members? Other members from the community? Yes.
Actually, quick question about the studios or what's the I guess, what's going to be the size of the units? Or do you have an idea in terms of like the studios? Because I know quite a lot of the newer projects they're smaller in size. So I was just curious.
So we're labeling them as studios just because they will have a bathroom and a small kitchen, but it really is intended to be student housing. So very small units, we're looking at under 300 square feet at this time. Under 300 square feet. So definitely on the smaller side, a student housing. Yeah.
Okay, other questions from board members, community? Jacob, we're running real short on time, Jacob.
Aloha, Chair. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. Really excited about the prospect for this project, especially since the COVID pandemic hit and that rental car shop rolled up. It's sort of been an eyesore of a space, unfortunately, very underutilized. I appreciate that there's the food trucks there right now, but I'm really excited for the prospects of this project, really putting it to some good productive use, providing some student housing. You know, this is the type of investment Waikīkī needs. So I live literally right up the street from this. So really glad, you know, this is being presented, and I look forward to seeing the progress on this project as it moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you. So tonight is our first presentation. We haven't got a EA yet.
Aloha, Chair.
Yeah, hold on a second. So we won't need a vote on this tonight. Okay, Greg, go ahead.
Thank you. Just wanted to make sure you saw my hand was up. I stepped away to get some tea, so I'm glad I came back when I did. I didn't want to miss this. I didn't realize this was so close to where I live. I live on Keoneana Street. I serve as a director on my condo association board here. Yeah, and when you mentioned it was a parking lot, Chair Finley clarified there's food trucks there currently, and they're leasing the property. So just a couple questions. First thing, I wasn't aware of this, and I live probably about 150 feet away, maybe 200 max. And I know you mentioned on the website, hopefully there's contact information. I want to make sure that I'm a part of the outreach for the public, that I'm aware of every meeting that's coming up, that I'm aware of the environmental assessment, the draft review, and the 30-day cycle. So how do I engage with that? And I'm sorry I didn't get everybody's name because I came in a little bit late. So how would I do that, please, if you could explain that? And I have one more question.
Greg, at the end of the presentation, there's my email address, Isaiah. So you can email me and I'll add you to the consultation list. So in that list, like you said, we'll notify you whenever the draft is posted and there's time for comment.
Okay, perfect. So that's on the Google Shared Drive. I'll look at that later. And it sounds like it's going to be, I think I got 130 feet. We do have residents here that I'm facing the side where we have a partial ocean view from my lanai. In fact, my window as I know you're saying left maybe when I go right on the mirror, but to the right of me is the window where it faces that way, and the lanai faces to the ocean. So I don't think it'll impact, but there may be residents here that the views may be partially impacted, hopefully not. But that's why I just want to make sure that, you know, everybody knows what's going on. We have some project next door that's just graffiti. They tore down 2 single-family houses. Nobody knows what's going on, and it's just a graffiti wall. So we just want to make sure. It sounds like you guys are putting something interesting, and I'm very supportive of also the student housing, and hopefully we have good students go in there and no crazy late night parties. But we'll see. They'll probably go over to Denny's after, where they're building at the old Tony Roma location. But last thing I would like to know, just to wrap up.
Thank you.
So you mentioned about the information. I will sign up for that. I would just like to know how long you think it'll take to do the build out. That was a thing I didn't get if you had said it initially.
Okay. So we'll invite you back after the EA is submitted.
Oh.
And we'll have more.
Did you hear the question? Chair, I'm sorry, I just had a question. How long it would take to do the build out, if you're aware of how long you anticipate to build the project, Isaiah?
I don't think that's settled yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we are running out of time. We've got one more presentation to do, but thank you very much. Last on our list is going to be Nate Sirota, I assume from Parks. The Parks Division is asking us to support adjusting the beach closure time at the Duke Kahanamoku Beach Park to match the rest of Waikīkī, to close at midnight and open at 5 a.m. I have taken the time to go to the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which runs that property. Their chief of security is very much in favor of this. I've talked to the business district, and pretty much they want to make it all the same. It gives HPD the ability to do park closure actions all at the same time. And since there's nobody, Nate, are you still here to discuss that? Nate?
Yes, I am. So I was actually proposing this in more of a personal capacity because this is, one of the things that we can do for the parks department is to submit changes to park closure hours. And you've nailed it on the head. It's basically to make it consistent with the rest of the shoreline from Kuhio Beach all the way to Kapiolani Park. I haven't had a chance. First of all, Major Ogata, thank you for joining us. And if you're still there, this has been an issue. I haven't been to Fort DeRusi. I'm on the continent right now in a couple of weeks, but I haven't seen whether the houseless situation there has improved. But certainly making the park closure hours consistent over there would help, although the jurisdiction of the beach itself is still a bit murky because it's not, the park itself is only really the comfort stations, the bathroom buildings that are at the end of Paoa Lane. And so the beach itself, I think, is more of a dog care issue, but again, something that we need to resolve. But having these consistent park closure hours will certainly help with that jurisdictional issue.
Board members, any questions about this Members of the community? We would need a motion to support this. Jeff supports, Catherine second. Any further discussion on this project? Okay. Roll call.
When you call your name, please say yes, no, or abstain regarding the adjusting of the park closure hours for Duke and Kahanamoku Beach Park from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Okay. What? Amu? Okay. Anderson? Okay. Nordahl? Okay. Cabanero? Okay. Dad. Oh, he's on. D. Orazio? Okay. Erdicek? Okay. Melissa? Okay. Finley? Yes. Okay. Hens? Okay. Yes. Hike? Okay. Daniel Jacob?
Yes.
Okay. Ken Jacob?
Yes.
Okay. Mers?
Yes.
Okay. Sirota? Yes.
I'll abstain because it is part of there's a bit of a conflict, so I'll abstain on this one.
Smith? Okay. Anworth?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It is adopted. Yes, got it.
Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, everybody. The last thing I'd like to do is approval of minutes. Sarah has sent some corrections that are administrative pretty much. Does anybody else have any corrections to the draft minutes? Seeing none. Show of hands in favor of the draft minutes being I show unanimous at the board meeting. Anybody on the internet against or abstains? I hear nothing, so the minutes are approved as corrected.
Sounds good.
We have 5 minutes. Jeff, anything going on in Subdistrict 1?
Basically, the harbor parties.
Yeah, nothing, the harbor, which was the issue we discussed. Also, there's still the traffic issue with La PEPE and Hobron, but I haven't heard anything else. I'll follow up with a constituent on that.
Thank you. Jillian, Sub-District 2. No report. Catherine, Sub-District 3.
Again, it brought up earlier the parking lot at the zoo and the problem with the buses parking in the area they should not be parking by the crosswalk and the light.
Okay, seeing no, well, the chair doesn't have a report except that I attended the Visitor Industry Safety Conference. Most of it was aimed at visitors, but I thought it was very interesting, the group that was there. It was good people to work with, the visitor industry, hotel managers, HPD, public safety from the state, and safety seems to be moving ahead on their project to improve safety in Waikīkī, everything from license plate readers to drones. So that I think we voted in favor of that. So they are happy that we supported them. Now they're going to go out and spend money. Other than that, I have any announcements. Next meeting will be February 10th, 6 p.m., same place. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.